time for the Tennessee Highway Safety Office High School Football Game of the Week. The Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk. The Game of the Week is also brought to you in part by Delta Dental of Tennessee and Main Street Media. Now, let's go to the field and join our play-by-play hosts live from the game. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in to another outstanding Thursday night of high school football action here on Main Street Prep's Game of the Week coverage brought to you by our friends at the Tennessee Highway Safety Office and Delta Dental of TN. It's a gorgeous night. It's a gorgeous setup here on the campus of Stratford High School as East Nashville and Stratford will do battle. It's a non-region matchup, but we have two metro schools tangling here tonight on our Main Street Preps Game of the Week coverage. Hello, folks, alongside Casey Patrick. Wayne Neely saying hello. First of all, Casey, good to be back with you after a week away. Sir. And yet again, we find ourselves on a gorgeous campus on a gorgeous night. We're batting 1,000 this season so far, partner.
Yes, sir, we sure are. And I keep thinking about that every Thursday when I get up. I look at the weather, and we have been blessed every week, and we're blessed with a really good matchup as well. A lot of really good athletes out here tonight. We got some good music playing, got some good food too. So I'm excited to watch a good football game tonight. Like you said, not a region matchup for these two teams, but these kids, a lot of them know each other. School's not too far apart from each other, so a lot of these kids are friends, and a lot of them are rivals, so excited to watch the game tonight.
This is not a region matchup tonight, but it has been a long-time region matchup as East Nashville and Stratford are set to do battle here tonight as we kind of set the stage. It is going to be a great night for high school football. We are so delighted that you guys are with us here on Main Street Preps Game of the Week coverage, once again presented by our friends at the Tennessee Highway Safety Office and Delta Dental. We mentioned East Nashville. We've seen both of these schools, Casey, and that's kind of going to make for an interesting matchup in terms of our broadcast tonight, kind of to see where these teams have gone since we've left them. And one thing is for sure, East Nashville comes in with a 1-4 record. But trust us when we say they're better than that 1-4 record. They picked up a nice victory last week over East Hickman. Meanwhile, Stratford coming in from a couple weeks since we've seen them, and the Spartans have taken care of business in their own right, coming in with a record of 2-2 entering this evening, Casey.
Yeah, and honestly, that was another reason why when we were looking at matchups and what we wanted to do this Thursday, I was really looking forward to this matchup because we had seen these teams already. And you can tell what these teams are kind of made of. You can tell that they've got a lot of talent. So I think tonight you got an opportunity to see a lot of fireworks. I think you could see a lot of points be scored tonight, a lot of offense. Dallas Covington back getting to see one of my favorite quarterbacks in the area. I talked a lot about him last time. So, like I said, a lot of guys. And the other side, there was a lot of quarterback going back and forth between Anton Wilson and Patterson Thacker going back and forth. So I'm interested to see exactly what Stratford does over there. But I got a lot of questions. Let's get them answered tonight.
It is going to be a dandy of a high school matchup this evening. Again, on the campus of Stratford, who we'll talk more about it in a moment, but is debuting their brand new renovations to their stadium here tonight. I don't know, Casey, that we'll find a closer matchup than these two schools. Just 3.2 miles from campus to campus. That's about as tight as you can get, which means this is going to be kind of a rivalry showdown, even though there's not a region bout at stake tonight.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier with a lot of these kids knowing each other. I mean, some of them may have grew up on the same street. Now, I don't know that, but, these kids, they grow up right down the road from each other. A lot of them play a lot of junior pro football together, play middle school football together. So these guys know each other, regardless of whether it's a region matchup or whatnot. These teams know each other. These guys know each other. So it should, like you said, a close battle. I'm looking forward to it. It should be pretty close, I think.
Looking forward to it, folks. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Our producer, as always, is our good friend making the magic happen behind the glass, Mr. Mark Rogers. Casey Patrick and Wayne Neely will step aside for a quick timeout. When we come back, we are that much closer to kickoff. Top of the hour as Stratford is set to host East Nashville right here in the heart of East Nashville. It's going to be a fun one, folks, so come on back on Main Street Prep's Game of the Week coverage presented all season long by our friends at Delta Dental and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, You can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Welcome back, folks. Alongside Casey Patrick, Wayne Neely saying hello. Casey, we mentioned that it's good to be back, you and I. We got to give a quick shout out to our friends at the Exports Radio Network, AJ Good, Ben Luna. Those folks were able to simulcast our broadcast last week. Not that we didn't want to go down to Lawrence County, but when you got the pros down there in southern middle Tennessee involved, we figured we'd let them kind of have the spotlight last Thursday. And it was a good ball game. Tullahoma getting a win, but Lawrence County battling back late, making it close, as that was our Week 6 matchup as we roll right along. And crazy stat, Casey. We mentioned that this is a non-region game. East Nashville picked up their first win of the season last week over East Hickman. So they're 1-4, but they're 1-0 in district play. However, Stratford, this kind of blew my mind in the prep leading up to this game. Stratford with the 2-2 record. They have not played a single region game. Obviously, tonight is not a region game. They closed the year with a frenzy. They go to Heritage, hosting Westmoreland at Whites Creek, a really good team that you and I broadcast a couple weeks ago, and then they close on Thursday night versus Maplewood. So talk about getting ready for the region. All their final games are region games for the Spartans here. Yeah,
and this is the closest thing to a region game that I think Stratford would have that's not a region game. And plus these rivalry matchups like that, and I think they get you ready. You know, whenever you do go up against a team that even if they're not in your region, if you do have a little bit of history with them, I think it allows you to get kind of into that region rhythm. And so, like you said, Stratford's got a lot coming up, but this is the type of game that you want to get yourself prepared for.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. And both teams are looking good in our pregame warm-ups. East Nashville, a little tardy getting over. A lot of schools in Metro. Casey, it's kind of an interesting phenomenon. I ran into this when I was covering Cheatham County and Glencliff a few weeks ago. Most of these schools are limited or at the mercy, unfortunately, of the bus routes. And so they have to wait for the buses to return from dropping off the kids before they can even load up. Glencliff arrived, sprinted through a warm-up. They actually delayed kickoff that night by about 5 or 10 minutes graciously just to give them a little extra time. But also the interesting thing, too, is a lot of these Metro schools, unfortunately, they have to be very selective with their games. They can't schedule too far out, as we saw Beach a couple weeks ago with East Nashville. That's about as far away as they can realistically schedule on a Friday night, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, tonight I think these schools are going to do almost whatever they could to get this game in. I think this game means a lot to both of these schools. So, you know, good on Stratford and everybody else just kind of taking their time so we can get the game in tonight. But shouldn't be no problem.
Hey, it should be fun. We're looking forward to it. Thanks to the staff here at Stratford. Again, we mentioned it before we went to break. Brand new, recently renovated, the bleachers and the field, the turf here. This place is popping. And I've long been a fan of the Stratford color scheme. You know, that black and orange really kind of just catches your eye. But it really looks fantastic here. We got orange end zones painted with white Spartan and Stratford on both ends there. It looks fantastic. The turf looks phenomenal. Where we're broadcasting, we are outdoors tonight on the top level of the bleachers. These things look great as well. Kudos to all and everybody that helped make this possible.
Yeah, I love, of course, I like orange, but I think I don't know if I'm a little biased there.
That was a mini setup for you right there.
Yeah, and I do love me some orange, but they got plenty of it out here. And like you said, with the turf field, I the turf is really good, especially when you got these athletes that move really quickly. It seems like they're able to keep their feet under them a little bit better, move around better. So, and like I said earlier, I'm ready for some offense. I think we're going to get some tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. And you should look for Dallas Covington. We'll talk more about the East Nashville quarterback in just a matter of moments. But the captains are out. We've got the coin toss in the books, and Stratford looks like they're going to receive the football. Head coach Anthony Law taking on head coach Damian Harris tonight. That is Stratford versus East Nashville. It is going to be one heck of a showdown here tonight as the Spartans and the Eagles are set to tangle. Casey, while we are, I believe, awaiting the national anthem coming up here in just a matter of a moment, I want to remind everybody real quick that we are sponsored all season long by our friends at Delta Dental of TN and also the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, who reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk. A lot of big games here. Hey, you know it's a big game here on a Friday or Thursday night, rather, when Mike Organ is in the house. So kudos to everybody for being out and showing up. All the superstars. Joe Dubin is in the building as well, so we'll have to keep them two separated. But also, Casey, not the only game tonight. Got a bunch of games per usual over in East Tennessee. But the phenomenon of this week is Rutherford County begins its fall break next week. I kind of like this. This is a pseudo tradition. So basically all the schools ahead of fall break, they play all their games on Thursday night. So we got big matchups between Rockvale and Oakland. Smyrna is traveling to Riverdale. Clarksville will be on the road tonight at Siegel. Blackman is on the road against the team that we saw play Stratford a few weeks ago in Stewart's Creek. We will update you guys on all of those as the night unfolds here on Main Street Prep's Game of the Week coverage. Thought we were going to get our anthem. East Nashville has taken the field. Stratford is huddling for some final closing remarks here. Two other quick games I wanted to shout out. We got Independence and Ravenwood duking it out tonight, and we also have Franklin and Centennial. One of our healthier slates in Middle Tennessee, I would imagine, all season long here, Casey.
Yeah, and when we tried to decide earlier in the week where we were going to go, I was actually interested in that Rockvale and Oakland game myself. It's been a long time since I got to see Oakland play, and that's, of course, one of the best teams in the state. So a lot of games, especially Murfreesboro, all kinds of games going on tonight, which, lucky on that Murfreesboro crew we got, they'll be able to get all their stories done a little bit earlier. But I'm happy to be out here. This is closer to my side of town. You know, we talked about not going to Lawrence County last week, saved quite a few miles on my truck. So I'm happy we're here tonight, and I think we're going to get us a good football game.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And we're here for a big occasion again, as this is Stratford unveiling their brand new, coats of paint are still drying on this thing here. The new renovations at the stadium look fantastic, as we will step aside for our anthem, ladies and gentlemen. Moments away from kickoff, Stratford and East Nashville here on Main Street Prep's Game of the Week coverage. Back after this.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25-plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
What are you doing out there?
Come on!
I saw you at the game the other night. Yeah, you. Up there getting mad, acting like we're all out there making $1 million a game. Well, let me be real with you. This isn't the pros. It's school sports, and it's a game, our game. So please, let us play.
School sports fans, remember, when you cheer for your team, make noise for the right reasons. This message presented by the NFHS and the NIAAA.
And all student athletes in Tennessee.
Step into the Lionel retail store at Opry Mills, Nashville, and you'll be captivated by all the magic of the 123-year history of Lionel trains. Whether you're already a train enthusiast or just getting started, Lionel will energize your love for trains. NASCAR fan? Come check out your local Lionel station to learn all there is to know about model trains and die-cast NASCAR collectibles. Visit nashville.lionel.com or call 615-455-9399.
Being in Tennessee, we wanted to try to keep it as local as possible, so we
We have an entire section of our menu that is just dedicated to local whiskeys like Uncle Nearest, Jack Daniels, of course, George Dickel, Nelson Brothers, Greenbrier Whiskey, and all of our taps are all local. From 2 o'clock until midnight, we've got food every day for you guys. A good handful of appetizers, some entrees, and a couple salads and things like that. My name is Ethan Kanata. Please come down and see us at the Pick Lobby Bar here at the Omni in Nashville.
National anthem is in the books, folks. That means we are ready for kickoff. And again, Stratford is going to receive this thing. 2-2 Spartans playing host to the 1-4 East Nashville Eagles. I might say this another time, and I probably can't say it enough, Casey, but do not let those records fool you, especially East Nashville's. They looked very impressive in their win, shutout victory last Friday night, region opener versus East Hickman.
Yeah, and East Hickman is a pretty good football team. It's a really proud program. So if you can go to East Hickman and beat them 34-0, you've done something pretty good. So I kind of knew that East Nashville was going to be East Hickman's hardest matchup up till last week, but they've got some talent. They got some big guys up front. I've already talked about Dallas Covington. I've talked about a few of these Damian Elder, some Cavante Pitts. They've got a few other guys. They can get the ball into their hands. And we've got kickoff. Let's get started.
East Nashville is going to wear white uniforms, tops and bottoms with silver helmets. And again, Stratford is orange up top, white on the bottom with white helmets. Kickoff fielded around the 21. Little daylight, not much, but around to the 29 or so, where this opening drive of the night will begin for the Spartans. They move left to right in this opening quarter.
Yeah, and I'm going to be excited. We talked about Anton Wilson earlier, and then Joe Campbell and Jackson Law are his two top receivers. Santana Frost has been he's been one of the best running backs in the mid-state to begin the season. I think he's averaging about 8 yards a carry, so they can move the ball however they want.
Stratford on 1st and 10. Coach Anthony Law puts it on the ground, and from around the 29, they get a little bit. East Nashville's got some real hosses up front, including one of their top players on the defensive side of the football in the form of Javon Carter. He leads the team with 4 sacks. That was a rush attempt, but they got some cloggers up the middle as East Nashville will look for another stop here. Stratford's going to go right back to the run, and a little dive up the middle here. Couple of straight run plays here. It's going to be 3rd and about 5 after they respot the ball.
Yeah, and I was kind of interested to see who the running back was going to be on that play. And for a minute, I think I just looked at the number wrong. I thought it was Matthew Brown for a second, but that was Frost again. And he's going to be in the backfield here with Wilson on this 3rd and about 5.
A very quick 3rd down. They'll throw for it out of the backfield. The pass is caught, nearly a lateral, but it's a pass nonetheless. And churning and weaving now upfield, out to around the 45. Good pitch and catch there. Again, the throw did not necessarily go very far, but Joe Campbell hauling that in.
First down.
Yeah.
First down of the night for the Spartans.
Well, and Joe Campbell's been the type of receiver that he's got a few more catches than Jackson Law does, but Law has a much higher average. So you're going to see him use the receivers the way they can.
About a 10-yard pitch and catch there as throwing deep. That pass is intercepted. Tried to go over the top of the defense and did not get it lifted enough as Cavante Pitts, a young man that Casey mentioned just a matter of moments ago, hauls it in, reaching at its highest point, and then tiptoeing along the sidelines, keeping his feet in bounds and giving the possession to the Eagles.
Well, and I tell you what, Anton Wilson, whenever he's going to walk straight over and they're going to watch the video on that, and he's going to be really mad at himself because if he'd have just stuck his foot in the ground and threw it across his body, which I know we tell quarterbacks not to do that, but he had a guy streaking kind of over the middle of the field, and I was pointing my hands over at him. I thought it was a touchdown already, but Wilson tried to get the ball to his running back who had went on kind of a wheel route, and Cavante Pitts with a great play, fingertip interception. The Eagles already have the ball on Stratford's side of the field, and Dallas Covington, I mean, he's got a cannon. He might throw it in the end zone here.
He's going to roll to his right. Now he drops into more of a straight drop back, and yeah, just a flick of the wrist. Casey's a prophet, folks. Drops it in a bucket.
Oh, it's coming back.
And there's a flag. There's 2 flags, as a matter of fact, 2 sets of flags. There's 2 in the backfield. There's 1 at the goal line. I mean, an absolute missile to Cortez Murphy. The only real drama was whether Murphy was going to be able to catch the wide-open touchdown. He did bring it in, but there were penalty flags.
I'll have Powerball numbers later tonight for
Thank
everybody.
you, please. We could use a little extra for the kitty there. I like that.
Yeah. And he did. I mean, just a really nice play-action pass there. They're going to get him for holding over here on the left tackle, but, man, Dallas Covington, I mean, it was a flick of the wrist, and at least 50 yards in the air just landed right in Murphy's hands. Really nice throw, but they're going to slow him down, push him back a little bit.
Covington comes into tonight 52 of 66 on the year. A little over 800 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions.
And he can move, too.
It looked very impressive versus Beach. East Nashville's going backwards again here. After the penalty made it 1st and 15, now we got a false start, so we're looking at 1st and 20. Talk about a range of emotions there. You take away the touchdown, and now you give 5 more free yards. But if you're Stratford's defense, you have to play 1st and 20 like it was 1st and 1 because, I mean, East Nashville can move it downfield in a hurry.
Yes, they can.
Covington will go shotgun, straight drop back. Now the pocket collapses, and he steps up, and he is off, racing across the 50, back beyond the original line of scrimmage. Let's see where they officially credited him on the shove out of bounds. Just a simple pocket swarms are on the outside, and then Covington.
Oh, and they're going fast, too. I like it.
Yeah, quickly up to the line of scrimmage.
False start.
Too quick,
again.
in fact. We got a false start.
Well, and they're going to call the false start on the quarterback, but he didn't get the snap in time. That's really on the center.
So East Nashville goes backwards yet again.
When, East Nashville gets the interception, they get the touchdown taken back, and then flag, and then a 16-yard run like it's nothing. And now we're back to, 2nd and what are we doing? I mean, it's just a whole lot of back and forth right now. And I don't know if Stratford's had much to do with any of it.
They also have first down signaled on the chains.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused by that. And they are, too. White Hat's stopping everybody. He wants to figure out what's going on.
Public address announcer initially thought it was enough on the run for a first down. She corrected herself. And I don't know that the officials corrected themselves. Now they do. 2nd and about 15 here after they mark it off, and a give. Running to the left. Decent little tote there. And pushed around at the 39-yard line, we'll call it. I believe that was Jordan Van Leer on the rush. He's got 30 carries for around 200 yards, 181 and 3 touchdowns. He's kind of emerged as a little back. Casey, we've talked so much as we got to stop in the action for the officials to converge here. One thing we've talked about a couple games ago when we had that contest versus Beach, Keith Johnson, the team's leading rusher at the time, he has not been featured in any game since week 2, which leads you to believe kind of an injury type situation. 2 guys, though, Van Leer that we just called a second ago, but then also look out for Kenny Fuller. He's kind of emerged the last couple of weeks. He had 4 rushes for 109 yards and a touchdown in that win last week versus East Hickman.
Well, we were trying to figure out where Johnson was the first time we saw him, but Van Leer, as good as a weapon as he is, he's I don't think he's a workhorse type of a guy. I don't know if you can hand him the ball 25, 30 times a game, so they were going to need to look for new bodies just to hand the ball off to, because you got to be able to run to allow Dallas to throw the ball. So good for them for finding somebody else that they could kind of move the ball through.
This has been a very chaotic drive, and it's 3rd and 12, but we're kind of right back where the drive began, just beyond the 40. Van Leer again, a little smaller in stature. He wiggles his way out to the 30 and out to the right. He picks up about 10 of the 12 yards, but a late flag came in. We're racking up the infractions early in this game here. 9:51 to go in this scoreless contest in the opening quarter.
Yeah, and I was going to say, it's been 2 minutes and 9 seconds, and it feels like we've been watching this football game already for about 30 minutes, but going to have another holding penalty here. It looks like it's declined. Oh, yeah, they're going to decline it, and Stratford's going to take the 4th down here. Which 4th and 3 coming up? I think I would have taken the yards the way they move the ball, but that's just my opinion.
I'm a little disappointed they declined that penalty because we could have said they have more penalties than they have plays on this drive thus far. Miscommunication here, and on fourth down, the ball hits the ground. Covington is going to have to scramble. Stratford is swarming. They're going to stop it. Trying to sweep to the left. Miscommunication, not a clean exchange on the handoff there. The ball hits the ground. Covington does recover, but is unable to wiggle out of danger. And Stratford with a nice stand. They take over at their own 33.
Well, and as I was just saying, Stratford with a great idea there not to take the penalty. So, in Van Leer, it looked like a little bit of a miscommunication on the handoff. Van Leer puts the ball on the ground. I thought for a second Covington was going to be able to get to it and make something happen, but good on him for just getting to it and making sure they didn't recover it and run nowhere with it. But Stratford, we're going to have another penalty, it looks like, after the play, and that's going to be on East Nashville as well. So we're going to move up from the 33 up to this could be unsportsmanlike. We're going to go up to about the 48-yard line, it looks like.
Yeah, the official still moving forward. Again, Stratford coming in 2-2 on the year. Played well in spurts. You know, that game versus Stewart's Creek, they got beat 49-18. They haven't lost since then, though. They picked up a 31-23 win versus Creekwood. And we'll tell you about an interesting road trip that they had and how it kind of makes sense in just a moment. But we finally are reset for play. Stratford is just shy of midfield at the 48. Pocket breaking down and quarterback going down. Tripped up in the backfield is Anton Wilson. He did not gain a yard. Thought he might have got back to the line of scrimmage. Brought down in the backfield. East Nashville bringing pressure in a hurry.
Yeah, and Stratford, that game against Creekwood that got them on this winning streak, they were down 17-7 in the fourth quarter with 10 minutes to go and come back and scored like 3-4 touchdowns in the last 10 minutes to win that game. So you can't leave them out no matter what the first three quarters look like.
A little bit of a low snap here. Stratford's tried to run up the middle a couple times tonight. Not much success. Nothing really doing here. No gain on the play. The hog mollies up front for East Nashville, clogging the lanes. It's going to be 3rd and 11 and a half here. 8:49 to go. We're in the opening quarter. Second drive of the night for Stratford. We've already seen 2 turnovers. One on an interception by Stratford. East Nashville picking it off and then returning, but then they fumbled on 4th down. We got a big 3rd down here right near midfield. Driving left to right. Stratford will keep it on the ground on 3rd and long. And honestly, their best run of the night. They pick up about 6 or 7 yards there. It'll still be 4th down, but now all of a sudden you're in the realm of 4th and very manageable.
Yeah, and a really solid run there by Frost. But you brought up that score against Stewart's Creek, 49-18, a few weeks ago, and I don't know if we told everybody or not, but the game was a lot closer than that score, and it got kind of out of hand there at the end. Stratford is not a bad football team, so like you said earlier, the records don't mean much. Oh,
low snap, and Stratford has put the ball on the deck, and East Nashville has recovered. Second time tonight that we've seen issues on a quarterback-running back exchange, the ball hitting the ground, and then this time East Nashville is able to fall on it. East Nashville put it on the ground earlier. Covington picked it up, but he had nowhere to go on 4th down. This time it's a recovery by the Eagles, who have forced 2 turnovers already in this contest.
Yeah, we've had 3 total turnovers. We've had a touchdown called back, probably 7 penalties, and I don't think either team has made it cross the 30 yet. Really, so just everybody stuck right in the middle of the field.
And no first downs to my knowledge. But Covington, nearly turned it right back over. Lurking and flying to the football. Good job by Nashawn Holbert, who had a great game versus Beach a couple weeks ago on our broadcast. He dives right in front of that and nearly picked it off.
Yeah, and I thought he had it. He stuck his foot in the ground. He saw the dig route or the curl, and he jumped on that curl route, and I thought he had it and was gone because if he catches that ball right there, there's nobody catching him unless they're down here on the Stratford sideline. I thought he had it, but just knocking it down is a good play.
Pistol formation here for the Eagles. Stuffed! Couple of Stratford Spartans flying to the football. Jackson Law, son of head coach Anthony Law, first on the scene. He was on that nearer side. Dialed up a little pressure on a blitz there.
I'm trying to figure out who that other player was. I believe it was Caleb Thompson, but I'm not exactly sure. Vision's starting to fail me in my old age.
We got to work on that, partner. Third and long,
Ooh, what a
and East
catch.
Nashville. Oh, my, yeah, diving snag. Great pass over the middle. Cortez Murphy, who grabbed the touchdown earlier that was hauled back on a penalty. Ooh, and he is just shy of the first down, so 4th and 1.
That's an excellent catch, though, and Covington had to throw it with a lot of pressure in his face, so good job by Covington just to get rid of the ball, but that looked like a solid play right there. I thought he had the first down, but they're going to mark him just short, so it's got another chance for a turnover here.
7:13 to go. We're scoreless. Again, these schools separated by about 3 miles. But depending on traffic, might take you a little while. Not your average 3-mile commute.
It took me a while to get out of here.
And especially on a Thursday night in downtown Nashville, but a gorgeous night for high school football.
Oh, we're going to get ourselves a measure.
First measurement of the season. Casey and I have been kind of longing for this. They took it away from us in the NFL, so, I'm kind of excited when you get to see the crew trot out here.
I think this is only the second one I've seen in person all year anyway. I saw one at a Friday night game, but hey, they had a good call out there by the White Hat. They were a little bit short on that, but you've got 4th and probably 6 inches coming up.
Murphy made the catch, and the roll after the catch, he had the first down, but where he made the grab kind of with his knee hitting the turf, it was right at the sticks at the 41, and he's just shy, about the nose of the football there. This will surprise no one, but the offense stays out on the field.
Well, I'm wondering, what you do here. I guess I'm just like an old man yelling at the clouds, but I hate lining up in shotgun right here. I feel like you ought to just get under center and just quarterback sneak it every time. You should be able to get 6 inches against anybody with the quarterback on a quarterback sneak, but it looks like they're going to line up in pistol and probably get 7 or 8 yards for a first down, so it's not really that big of a deal, but I hate the fact that the under center quarterback seems to be a lost art.
Let's see how this plays out. They finally reset everything. Winding the clock, 7:10 to go, 4th and inches. Straight give out of the backfield. And the first down is made, but the ball comes loose. And I kid you not, it's a turnover party here in East Nashville as the Stratford Spartans come up with possession. Give up the middle. Kenny Fuller, who we just talked about, the emerging senior. He'd come on the last couple of weeks. He had first down yardage, but about a yard beyond the sticks, he lost the football, and it was picked up by the Spartans.
Well, and, I was talking earlier about how Stratford come back to beat Creekwood a few weeks ago. This is a team that you can't bury them at any point. So East Nashville needs to do what they can to get ahead right now because it is a strong team, but a whole lot of back and forth. I've already said that 2 or 3 times.
Long pass toward the sideline. Wilson to Law. We talked a lot in that game earlier this year versus Stewart's Creek about Jackson Law. He was kind of quiet that night, kind of limited, but this is a kid that's got a boatload of schools looking at him already. And kind of a long handoff. It was just a pass toward the sideline. He picks it up for about 3 yards. Now they go back on the give up the middle. Oh, my, a great open field tackle. Good job on the grab there. I believe that was your middle linebacker, Victor Orogby, who reached in, just kind of stuck that paw out and brought the ball carrier down. And that was a huge tackle.
Yeah, that was
for really no gain.
That was a really nice play because you talked about that play beforehand. I didn't even think that Law had gotten 2 or 3 yards. Oh.
Stratford faking a screen, now throwing it deep for Law. He got his fingertips to it. But the pass slightly air-mailed. It was thrown into double, maybe even triple coverage. But Law somehow kind of knifed his way between everybody and made a little bit better of an attempt than I think most would have thought when it left Wilson's hand. And we got a punting situation here.
I was surprised he got a finger on it, to be honest. Law got some really good hang time there to go up and get his hand on it, but just a tough pass into a lot of people.
First punt. We got a good snap. We got a clean kick. Ball bounces at the 27 and will kind of trickle out of bounds just shy of the 25, around the 24-yard line or so. So for the first time tonight, East Nashville, really I guess Stratford for that matter too, Casey, got a team somewhat pinned back a little further in their own territory as the Eagles will take over. They move right to left here in this first quarter. Nothing your score. It's been a crazy game. This will be East Nashville's third possession already.
Yeah, and I'm just excited. I'm ready to see somebody execute something. You know, no flags. Let's just block our guy. Let's get a few yards, go forward, get some sort of offense go. I thought we were going to have a high-scoring game tonight, but 4 turnovers have changed that to begin.
From the 23. Little early motion there. The officials do not call that, though. And the pass is complete. Good open field tackle on the near sideline by Matthew Brown, the cornerback for Stratford. Spartans and Eagles tonight. We got a great crowd on hand as that pass is ruled about a 3-yard pickup, so it'll be 2nd and 7 upcoming.
Yeah, you talk about the crowd here. Most of the seats are filled up, and we've got a bunch of folks walking around the track and stuff like that, so we're going to have ourselves another flag.
The majority of the flags tonight have been on East Nashville. That was a little bit of a miscue from Stratford as Marco Reed, the junior, he was getting ready to come on a blitz, and he couldn't slow himself down. He just got a little too much with the momentum there, jumped in the neutral zone. And so 2nd and 8 now becomes 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3 we'll call it officially, as Covington looks toward his right sideline. Nothing there. He's going to tuck in and run toward the left. He's pushed out of bounds, and this will depend on the spot. He ended up beyond the sticks, but I think he stepped out earlier.
Yeah, the FAR official had him up towards the first down marker, but what are we doing here? Oh, 3rd down. Just 3rd down. I thought it was 4th down.
3rd and 2. Stratford bowing up. Law comes flying in and makes a solo tackle.
I believe you're going to have a 4th and short coming up here.
And, you know, it is 4th and short. We saw East Nashville didn't even blink and go for it earlier.
No blinking right here either.
Yeah, and even though they're at their own 33, offense immediately out. They immediately snap.
Ooh.
And we got a lot of confusion going on right there because as the play was going on, the sticks were moving for a 1st down. So apparently they did rule that a 1st down, and now that was a gain of about a yard.
And now the
2nd and 9.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was confused too.
Chaotic start here, even though we're scoreless. Good run on a sweep to the right. Good carry there for, again, Jordan Van Leer.
That was a 1st down. No ifs, ands, or buts about that one.
Our first down of the night on a game where we've had 6 possessions.
It took us a minute to get here, but we're starting to move the ball a little bit now.
There has been as much action for a game, again, that has not had its 1st down until 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. 6 possessions worth. We've seen several turnovers, a couple turnover on downs. Nearly a strip here as Covington is in the grasp of as many as 3 Spartans in the backfield. Great pursuit on the outside edge. And Covington tried to get rid of it, but nowhere to go. Just absolutely swallowed up. And a couple of different Spartans in on the play, including Caleb Thompson, the young man Casey referenced a moment ago at the linebacker position. A couple big plays for him already. This will be a sweep to the left.
More
small gain there for Fuller, who fumbled on the last possession, but looks pretty good there, but got some laundry back behind the play.
And, I mean, on the stretch plays, I don't know if it's going to be a hold or a block in the back, but they could call either one if they wanted.
East Nashville, we mentioned, picked up the win versus East Hickman. Casey, I left the listeners dangling a moment ago. I apologize. We talked about that Creekwood game. That was back on September 12th. The next week, they go to West Side. You may be wondering, where is West Side? That's West Side, Indiana. You may be wondering, what in the world are the Spartans doing going to Indiana? Don't forget, folks, Anthony Law, an Indiana native, from the Gary, Indiana neck of the woods. It's kind of been a homecoming tour of sorts as we got more whistles here. And we mentioned Law being on that staff at Stewart's Creek prior to arriving here at Stratford. Says, you know what, I'll go back to my home state too. Some competition. They won that game that night on the 19th. 19 as well. So Stratford on a 2-game win streak here in this contest. This is anybody's ball game. 0-0 your score late in the first quarter.
Yeah, and we got 3rd and 20 coming up. So Stratford could, if they could make a play here, might have ourselves another turnover.
Covington out of the shotgun, looking, rolling to his right, firing a BB on a little bit of a deep drag route. And Covington made a pretty good throw, but nobody was home. And now we got a little jawing after the play. And I hate to say it, but we got another flag. And that one is going to be really tough. The a couple of the Stratford players were kind of talking to their defensive end there, Marco Reed. He got really worked up after that last play. Some jawing was undoubtedly going on. And after a stop on 3rd and 20, you hope that it was, and yes, there is a flag, and it is a personal foul, but it's against the Eagles. But Reed, man, all the body language kind of indicated, they get that. They don't get that first man, they get that second man. I was worried that Reed was going to get dinged right there.
Yeah, and Reed made a good play in the backfield, and so he kind of stood over one of the offensive linemen for East Nashville. And the offensive lineman took he didn't like that too much, so he didn't swing at him. He just kind of shoved him out of his way, but he got a flag for it. And now we're going to get a punt. Oh Lord, it's over his head.
Over the head. This just kick it out of the end zone. Yeah,
good job.
Oh man, and we were robbed, folks. There's a soccer net that is right behind the goal post.
He missed it.
And it would have been a highlight for the ages. What you're supposed to do, yes, kick it out of the back of the end zone so you don't give up the touchdown there. You take the safety and just play on. But when the kick out of the back of the end zone, it was headed right toward the soccer net. I was hoping we were going to get an upper 90 shot right there like our boys from Nashville Soccer Club last night, Casey.
Would I be allowed to yell goal?
I was tempted. I'd
have been into it, man. It looked like he had a chance there for a second. I thought it was going to do it too, but smart play by the punter there. That punt was snapped for Goliath, and so the young man wasn't able to get to it, and it just went over his head, and he went back there and knocked it out.
2:43 to go. We have our first points, and kind of because of the way the quarters unfolded, we're going to stay right here. So our streak continues, Casey. We've seen at least one team, no matter which school or schools that we cover. We've seen some snap issues on special teams throughout the course of the year, and it rears its ugly head again as that one. But kudos to East Nashville. Smart play again. You boot it out of the back of the end zone. Yeah, you give up the safety, but you do not risk Stratford running in and falling on it for a cheap touchdown.
Well, and I don't really know what the odds would have been, but a safety for the first score of the game would very, very unlikely, I would assume. But like you said, East Nashville doing the punter young man made a good decision. Just go ahead and get it out of there. Give them 2 instead of 6. And it looks like now they're going to have to kick from that soccer goal net back there because of another penalty.
Yeah, Brian Eckert, who's the senior kicker for East Nashville. Did the smart thing. And again, 2:43. I love, we got all kinds of stuff going on here.
I have no clue why, but the kickoff is at the 15-yard line. I know there was a penalty, but was it assault? My goodness.
Yeah, unless there was multiple flags. The scoreboard also briefly showed 8-0 Stratford, which the Spartans fans would have appreciated, but 2-0 is the score. East Nashville, sadly, will not attempt an onside kick from their own 10. There will be a great return. There will be a long return. There's a flag down, but as it stands, we have a touchdown for Joe Campbell. Perhaps the shortest true kickoff return for a touchdown you might ever see, as he took it around the 50. Sweeps around the right sideline. Had one man to beat. And we do have a touchdown, and credit the touchdown. And the Stratford coaching staff, Coach Law and the gang, I think they were jumping higher in celebration than the players were. How about the effort from Joe Campbell? He caught it again. Thanks to the safety, you had to kick it in kind of a weird fashion. You had the penalties that backed it up from around the 10. Campbell with about a 52-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. It is 8-0 in what is a front runner for the most unusual game I think I've ever broadcast late in the first quarter.
Yeah, we're 9.5 minutes in, and this you could not have guessed what was coming next at any point. A great play by Campbell there, like you said, but they had a targeting penalty that was called, so that means on the ensuing kickoff, the Stratford Spartans are going to be able to move the ball up on the kickoff, so you got a chance for an onside kick. So Stratford doing everything right so far, right for the last few minutes.
So with 2:33, we are going to attempt to take a quick timeout, but do not adjust your sets tonight, folks, because this has been a highlight factory and then some. 9-0 is your score. Stratford leads here at home. 2:33 to go in the first. Casey and I are back after this. Main Street Preps Game of the Week coverage rolling right along.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
Alongside Casey Patrick, Wayne Neely saying hello. Our producer tonight, Mark Rogers. Wild start to this one. I don't know that we've found a rhythm per se, Casey Patrick, but we have found points as Stratford records a safety on a botched snap on the punt attempt and then returns the kickoff for a touchdown. 9-0 is your score. And disappointment for Casey and I, as even though they had the free 15 yards on the ensuing kickoff after a penalty, Stratford boots it deep, which, hey, the last time East Nashville was back at their own 20, you got a safety out of the deal. I was feeling a little robbed on the no onside kick. Second time we've seen that this season.
Well, okay, so they're going to kick off from the other 45. You got to kick it at least 10 yards for the onside kick, so you put it at least at the 35, right? If you kick it through the back of the end zone, which is what they did, they put it at the 20. That's a 15-yard difference. I just don't feel like a 15-yard difference is worth the chance for the ball. You know what I mean?
Look at Casey busting out the analytics cap there. I love it. Give up the middle. East Nashville looks a little determined already on this drive. Nice-looking tote for, again, Jordan Van Leer. Van Leer, 30 carries, 181 yards, and 3 touchdowns on the season. Picks up first down yardage there. 9-0 is your score. A safety and a special teams touchdown. Little stutter step here on the give. And that stutter step allows Van Leer to pick up a couple yards. Marco Reed on the tackle. But close to the first down. First and 10, they picked up 8.
When I tell you what, Van Leer doesn't need much space. He's a smaller guy anyway, but once he gets moving, he is hard to bring down. He's hard to get a hold of to bring down.
Reminder to everybody, East Nashville scored on the opening play of the ball game, but it was wiped away on a penalty. Covington, who delivered a touchdown pass on that opening play, takes the snap here, and he only needed about 1.5 yards, and he finds a little patch on this new turf here at Stratford, and he just scoots out of bounds, pick up about 2.5 yards for the first.
He makes it look effortless, too. And Van Leer with a great job on the pass protection there. He got the blitzing linebacker. Just enough time to give Covington to run out and go get the first down.
Second time tonight that the hard count has gotten to the Spartans here, jumping in the neutral zone. Trayvon Hughes, defensive tackle for the Spartans, gives a free 5. This is crazy to say, Casey, but this is the 4th East Nashville drive. These 2 first downs, even though they're just now getting close to midfield, this has been their most sustained offensive drive of the entire night. And we got I don't know what's going on in the trenches there, but we got another immediate offside call, or encroachment, I guess, if you will.
He didn't even try to hard snap it. This is almost like a glitch in the matrix, realistically. I mean, that's just 2 young men out there trying to make something happen. But that's going to be an automatic first down for that one.
So back-to-back first downs. What was that? We were at Greenbrier in Portland 2 weeks ago. Had a 4th and 15, and we nearly saw 3 consecutive offside penalties that would have given a first down. But we see back-to-back here. And so teams are going to talk it over. We're going to take a timeout as we have an official timeout. We'll step aside. 1:41 to go here in the opening quarter. Stratford, the home team, Spartans, leading 9-0 here on Main Street Prep's Game of the Week action.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25-plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Thanks to our friends of Delta Dental of TN and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, who remind you that fans don't let fans drive drunk. Alongside Casey Patrick and our producer Mark Rogers, Wade Neely saying good evening. Got about 1:20 left here in this first quarter. Unusual game, unusual start to say the least, but Stratford leads 9-0. East Nashville just across midfield. 2nd and 6 for Covington. And a low snap. Pressure, Reed nearly brought him down. And Covington, wow. That is a rare occasion where Covington eluded pressure but then somehow did not get away clean. The second man was there on the scene, Emmanuel Brown. Covington withstood the initial surge from Reed, nearly went to the ground, but he was able to recover, but he could not elude that extra defender. And it's 3rd and long.
Well, that's where being a young man kind of messes with you. He probably should have just thrown that away, and you'd have 3rd and 5. But now they got 3rd and looks like 11. So a bad play from Covington there, but he got a chance to make up for it here.
And he might. Loading up. No, now going to break and flee. Stepping up in the pocket. And, man, Stratford, they are tackling well tonight. Covington, who gave Beach and that talented defense fits a couple weeks ago when we had that broadcast. Some good open field tackling tonight. That was Dallas Watts, the DB on the stop there. Watts' stop was critical. Otherwise, he'd had a first down, but instead it's going to be 4th and 4.
Well, I'm interested to see. I mean, East Nashville hadn't had a whole lot of luck on these 4th downs so far, and it looks like we're going to have, the end of the first quarter. That's why young man took his helmet off, and I didn't know what was going on out there.
It's been an unusual one, but we're delighted that you guys are with us, and we're pumped to be here. 9-0 is your score. We have reached the end of the first quarter. Casey and I return right after this. Stratford's ahead 9-0 when we come back on Main Street Prep's Game of the Week coverage.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25-plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Second quarter set to begin here. We're on the campus of Stratford, home of the Spartans, who lead East Nashville. School separated by just 3.5 miles, maybe even a little less than that.
Lord have mercy.
And we have movement on both sides of the ball. We had a 4th and 4. It's going to be 4th and 9. Wasn't sure who, because, again, both sides had movement. But procedure against East Nashville, 4th and 9. I'm sorry, listeners, but I have given up tracking penalties for tonight. We're already in double digits. But a very herky-jerky first quarter.
If I have to take off my shoes to count the penalties, then we're not going to do it no more.
Yep, I'm on board with that. 9-0 is your tally. East Nashville will go for this, though. 4th and 9. Right at midfield. Bullet pass down the middle. That pass is picked off. Intercepted by the Spartans. Traversing out across the 40 on a return here. Now still on the feet as Kobe Buford finally is brought down. And Stratford, folks, their offense has yet to score, but a safety and a special teams touchdown, now coupled with another takeaway by their defense. They have the ball, leading 9-0 as we begin the early stages here this second quarter.
Well, I was going to say this before the end of the first quarter, but that fourth down felt like this game is far from over, and that's not what I'm saying. But that fourth down felt like a big moment in the game. And it wasn't a turnover on downs. It might as well have been the same thing. Kobe Buford with a great play to cut that post off and take the ball away.
Good ball skills there. Oh, my. I'll say this. It's kind of hectic as this game has been. There have been some great open field tackles, and that was a fantastic one from senior Chauncey Anthony, middle linebacker for the Eagles. Bringing down Stratford ball carrier 2 yards shy of the line of scrimmage. Loss of 2 on the carry. 2 and 12 now. 2nd and 12, rather. As Stratford still trying, hadn't really been successful at any point tonight, but still trying to run up the middle. And that give to Santana Frost only gets a dose of yards there, and maybe 1.
And Frost did a really good job of just holding on to the ball on the first down. So 3rd and long coming up here, but Stratford with the lead. I'm surprised. I'm wondering what they're going to do here.
Winding up, throwing. Law was in the area, and again he can kind of overcome and make a crazy reception on a overthrow ball, but that one was a little too high. And it's a quick punting situation here for the Spartans. They lead this game 9-0. And they've got the chance, it feels like, Casey, to really maybe put some extra pressure on East Nashville, but they don't cash in here. Offense has been struggling tonight, and they'll have to punt.
Yeah, the defense has been solid for Stratford. And, of course, East Nashville keeps shooting themselves in the foot. But I tell you what, right now, the East Nashville safety, DeMontez Anderson, missed an opportunity for an easy pick on – ooh, Lord.
That punt, I don't know if it was blocked, but it took an odd angle off the side of the foot, kind of a shank, but it was returned, and it's returned for a touchdown. On a night of unusual plays, that is one of the more unusual punt returns you will ever see. Again, the ball almost knuckling off the side of the foot, and not even the designated return man, but a second returner comes up, fields it cleanly, and darts off down the sideline. We apologize because all of our eyes were fixated on the deep return man back at around the 40, but that punt was about 20 yards shy of where it was supposed to land. Fooled me. Touchdown for East Nashville.
When the punter, Patterson Thacker, got hit on the punt, too, so I'm trying to figure out if they're going to throw a flag. I'm looking down here at the refs. We got another flag going to be, I don't know, all kinds of nonsense going on out here. The white hat just made 3 or 4 different hand signals. It looked like sign language. It didn't even look like an actual call.
Where else would you rather be on a Thursday night?
This is more fun than anything I could have went and done. I'll tell you that right now. And I was not looking at the gunner. I was looking at the punter, and then you might look at the punt returner, but the gunner grabs the ball on the other side of the field, and he just nobody close to him. Stratford didn't know he had the ball until he's at the 20 behind him.
I'm trying to think if I can better describe what we just saw, because it just defied everything that you will ever think about a punt. It was a little bit of a low snap. I thought the kick might get blocked. And again, the punt is away, but it's kind of shanked off the side of the foot. So the punt comes between the hashes. It's immediately kind of gravitating toward the East Nashville sideline. And as Casey said, we're looking at the deep return man, or we're really just looking to see where the ball is probably going to be downed. But as Casey pointed out, the gunner just kind of waiting there, fields it cleanly, and then sprints down the sideline. It was almost like it was a designed play. You could not draw it up.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, because the punt returner's at about the 30, somewhere around that general area on his side of the field. And the gunner grabbed the ball on what looked like Stratford's 45 maybe. And now with the penalty on the extra point, East Nashville's been moved up to the 1 yard line. They're going to go for 2 here, which I don't think is a good idea, but I'm not a coach. Great idea, East Nashville.
Yeah, good call by East Nashville. They'll show you, Casey. Diving in.
I'll shut up here in a minute.
Good little carry there for Fuller, stretching out across the plane there to make it a 1-point game. Stratford leads 9-8. The score is 9-8. There have been no offensive points scored in this game right now. It is a wild one tonight over in East Nashville. Buckle up, folks. We still got 10:32 left in this first half when Casey and I return. Main Street Prep's Game of the Week coverage is presented all season long by our friends at the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
We got a 1-point ball game now. East Nashville scores on a punt return. Goes for 2, gets it. Stratford clinging to this 9-8 lead. Crazy game here tonight. 1-4 East Nashville, 2-2 Stratford. Again, these two teams, rivals, region rivals for a long, long time. East Nashville drops down to 2A this season, so they're no longer region foes. But the rivalry has not been dialed down any less, Casey, and now we got a 1-point game with 10:27 to go till half.
Yeah, that was and I'm still kind of going back to a minute ago. I feel like Stratford, they should have kicked that onside kick when they had that opportunity down here. We got another flag, and we haven't even got started yet.
If you were to tell me the officials, now most of these have been obvious, but if you were to tell me that the officials tonight were being paid by the flag, I would be inclined to maybe believe you. Again, both teams have committed a number of infractions. I gave up tracking that about 2.5 minutes into the game because there were many. Stratford takes over, 1st and 15 at their 15, or excuse me, at their 20. And a little dive up the middle. And again,
not much.
Yeah, I respect the commitment. And, eventually if you end up kind of establishing that, you can really open up your offense. But right now, Stratford just ramming their heads into a wall kind of. The give up the middle has not been there. That picks up about 1 yard at the most. Maybe 2 yards. 2nd and 13. Pocket breaking down for Wilson. And, we got a massive humanity flying toward Wilson here. A couple different Eagles in the area, including Tyler Fleming and Devin Phillips both converging.
Well, and that was a messed up play from the beginning. I think Wilson was trying to get rid of the ball to Frost, and Frost was already ahead of him before the snap. And Wilson just kind of running around trying to save his own life there. But another 3rd and long coming up. And I agree with you. I love the commitment to the run, but it has not paid off yet through a quarter and a half almost.
3rd and 12. Stratford trying something new. They'll send a man in motion. They fake it to him and hang on to that ball. Wilson swallowed up from behind by Devin Phillips, who just made the stop a moment ago. Big number 60, Devin Phillips, that is. How about this for you, Casey? All 6'4", 315, flying off that outside edge and bringing down the quarterback. It'll be a punting situation here for Stratford.
When I talk about those numbers on those rosters not always being right, I believe they got it on that young man right there. He is a big fella. I don't want to get hit by him.
No, sir.
I'm a grown man, and I don't want to get hit by him.
Buckle up, folks. We got another special teams play. We've already seen 2 scores. Well, 3 scores on special teams. We had a botched punt.
I feel like I need
safety.
to record it.
Yeah, get your phones out, folks. And a low snap. And the punter.
You can't do that, right?
Okay. I said a moment ago.
It is the wildest thing I've ever seen.
There's a low snap. My jaw, I'm picking it up off the ground, folks. There's a low snap. Stratford's punter, Patterson Thacker, the backup QB, loses the ball. Pressure breaks down on him. We just called a play a moment ago where the ball goes over the head and you're supposed to kick it out of the back of the end zone for the safety. He kind of implemented the same strategy, but he kicked it forward. So it was almost like a kind of a drop kick in the sense that the ball was on the ground. Thacker just boots it forward, and then just for added chaos, it goes right into the breadbasket of a Stratford upback who returned it. In this case, he said there's no way that could have been legal. But as the play was kind of unfolding, he nearly got quote-unquote first down yardage.
When I tell you what, it was Joe Campbell that caught the ball. And it's not his fault. He's just so used to catching the stuff around him anyway. And Patterson Thacker just, like it was just laying on the ground. Everybody running at him. I don't blame him because I think he's going to get another punt here. I think he's going to get another chance to punt the ball away. Because you can't give the ball to East Nashville right there. It's just a illegal punt, I guess. You got to redo the play. This is the wildest football game I've ever been in attendance for. I've watched a lot of football. This is the wildest game I've ever seen in my life.
9-8 is the score. And the official made a motion for what would normally, he had the foot going forward for kind of running into the kicker, but he points toward Stratford. And I'm going to have to consult with our rules analyst, our good friend and Main Street Media columnist, Joe Dubin, is over here to the left of us. And I'm going to have to ask JoJo what the official ruling is. Casey summed it up best, though. This has been a hard-fought game. It has not been a cleanly played game. There's been a ton of flags by both teams, but there have been some absolutely bizarro world plays. And just when you think they can't get any more crazy, we see one like that. East Nashville declined whatever the official penalty was right there, and they take over at their 19. They'll have a chance to take their first lead of the game. They trail, but only by 1. It's a 9-8 Stratford with 8:21 to go. My mind is blown right now, Casey.
Well, we're only missing 2 things, an offensive score and a 1-point safety. And if we end up with both of those for the night's over, I am going to have to go get me a lottery ticket because this honestly has been the wildest game I've ever been at. And like you said, it's a hard-fought game. I think all the kids out here, I mean, they're playing really, really hard. It's just it seems like the goofiest thing possible that could happen has been happening fairly consistently.
The officials finally have it ready. And
they're not going to give them another punt, but East Nashville takes over at the 19. I guess that was kind of close to where Campbell was tackled. I'm not real sure if they gave him those yards.
Give up the middle. Scooting forward. Not a bad little carry for Van Leer, who's coming on here. Between Fuller and Van Leer, that was the thing we wondered about East Nashville. When Keith Johnson not suiting up since week 2, Covington, he can do a lot, but he can't do it all. And could he get the run support? These two guys have emerged as Van Leer picked up about 11 yards for the first. It'll be 1st and goal now from the 9. Stretch play. Stuffed. There goes Reed again. Reed has feasted off the outside edge. He flies off the far side of the ball and stops Van Leer for no gain in the backfield.
When if East Nashville can start to run the ball for 9 yards to carry like Van Leer's been doing here lately, it's going to be really hard for Stratford to hold a lead.
Covington calling his own number, and he's brought down to 1.
I thought he got in there, but he was just a hair short.
They say knee touchdown just before the ball went across the plane. 7:15 to go. We're in the second quarter.
Eagles going fast.
Greetings from the most unusual game you've ever heard here in high school football. 9-8 is your score. East Nashville, this is how unusual it is. East Nashville's going to go under center. They nearly botched the snap. Covington does recover, but he is unable to get forward on the quarterback sneak. It's 4th and inches, 4th and goal from the the 1 yard line now. They lost a little bit.
4th and goal. Spartans
they actually move it back to the 2.
Let's go defense.
East Nashville will go for it. 4th and goal from the 2. Gibb up the middle, stopped!
He was stopped.
Stopped off the outside edge. Turn up Spartans one time. Flying to the football, Nashawn Holbert, who's been a great defensive back, nearly had an interception earlier in this contest. He's flying downhill and making a big stop in the backfield. The Eagles turn it over, and Stratford regains the ball, clinging to that 9-8 lead midway through the second quarter.
Well, and I know Stratford would rather have the ball in their possession, but they're not out of the woods yet. They're at their own 3-yard line. This could get dicey here too, because East Nashville's defense has been pretty good on their own, on their own ends. So. Nothing has been predictable to this point, so I don't really know. Other than that touchdown that got called back, I did call that. Other than that, I don't know what's going on here.
They'll snap it out of the shotgun from their own end zone. And as Casey pointed out, this is dangerous territory.
Lost 2.5 yards.
Yep, right back to the 1 yard line.
He was lucky to get out of the end zone.
If you can go under center, this ball is spotted just beyond the goal line. I mean, it's going to be 2nd and 12 from the half-inch line. If you can go under center, your best bet is to maybe quarterback sneak it twice and just close your eyes and pray on the punt. Or maybe just at taking intentional safety. Because here is a ball that is dropped in the back of the end zone. The running back recovers. Again, this is about the 4th time I've said this tonight. But I saw something I've never seen before as the tailback, Buford, on a stretch play, lost the football, but he does recover it, and East Nashville was not necessarily in immediate position to make a tackle, so Buford kind of almost ran along the horizontal back of the end zone there. East Nashville eventually swarms on him. It makes the stop. We have our second safety of the night. And East Nashville takes its first lead at 10-9. We have yet to see any offensive points. You got that on your bingo card?
Does the 2-point conversion count from East Nashville as far as?
I'm not counting it, partner.
I don't blame you. We still do not have offensive points yet. And honestly, other than, I don't think, well, I was going to say something stupid. I'll back up. I was going to talk some more about how the offenses hadn't been doing too hot, but you've seen a couple good run plays from East Nashville. Stratford, on the other hand, they've had a hard time running the ball. Committed to it, though. See, we got a kickoff here, East Nashville. Number 1, Kenny Fuller. He's got some space. He's going to be tackled down.
Fuller wiggled out of dodge there. Sorry, Casey. I was glancing down at my notes, trying to kind of cobble some stuff together. But maybe I might have to just abandon that because nothing about this game has been conventional. But in a weird way, it has been entertaining. East Nashville taking, again, its first lead at 10-9. And getting the ball back at the 50 now, thanks to a little bit of a return there from Kenny Fuller.
Entertaining is the correct word. And again, I don't necessarily have a team to root for here. I just get to watch the game. But you'd kind of want to see a little bit more execution from both sides. But it has been a really entertaining game to watch.
These two rivals going toe-to-toe. Both teams coming off victories after struggling, slow starts. Here's a nice little give on the left side edge for Cortez Murphy. A little bit of an end around there.
I'm pretty sure that's the first running play outside of the tackles that didn't end in a flag.
I was just getting ready to make that comment. I'm kind of watching the officials on every single play tonight. And we don't have to wait much longer. That's the fourth time tonight that Stratford has lined up somebody for a blitz. And I don't know what is going on in the trenches there, but I'd love to have a mic down there. Because
we
whatever
probably couldn't play it.
That's a great point. But whatever East Nashville is doing is really confusing Stratford, because that's, again, the fourth offside penalty. And Stratford is right there again, kind of daring, and they do blitz. Run up the middle. Not much going on, but East Nashville, who does get the ball to start the second half, all of a sudden, Casey, after trailing 9-0, if you can tack on a score here, bleed a lot of clock, maybe go into halftime with lead and get the ball back, you're in real big business.
When I was saying in that first quarter, if East Nashville would just stop shooting themselves in the foot, they'd be able to get back in this game, and here they are leading. So, again, all they have to do is execute. Oh, my goodness. At Covington, he is very hard to tackle.
Dallas Covington, folks. If you were with us a couple weeks ago when East Nashville valiantly fell at Beach, he dazzled that night, had his season high in terms of passing, 200-plus yards. He only, quote-unquote, passed for 136. He was 9 of 10 passing for 136 and 2 touchdowns last week as they cruised over East Hickman. Covington picks up a few there, though, so it's 3rd and 6. Casey checking. We might have, do we got 11 out there on the field? There's Covington. Little run pass option. He calls his own number. Needed the 27. He got beyond the 27. First down for East Nashville. 4:15. The clock's kind of melting away. This will be a massive drive offensively.
Yeah, well, Stratford was making a few substitutions there on the defensive side. Looked like a little bit of confusion. I was just trying to count to see. I thought they only had 10 men on the field, but they did have 11. What a play.
Swarming off the edge. Both teams have had their fair share of just elite open field tackles. And Jackson Law, maybe one of the premier athletes here in all of Metro Nashville, makes another great individual play, this time again on the defensive side of the ball, stopping the ball carrier for a loss of 6.
Well, I know Law's a great receiver. He's got a good body for a receiver, tall. He's a strong kid. But I think he plays defensive back as well as he plays receiver.
Toss toward the far sideline. That pass is hauled in by Cortez Murphy. Murphy wiggling, still on his feet. He's down to the 2. He's down to the 1. Oh, that's all they're going to give him. Second time tonight that East Nashville has been painfully close, but been unable to get into the end zone. The last time they were in this situation, they ended up turning it over on downs. First and goal, though. That wasn't the cleanest handoff you've ever seen. Stratford keeps them out of the end zone. There's 2:55 to go till halftime. East is ahead 10-9.
When East, I love the idea. They get down there close to the goal line and they want to go fast, try and catch the defense, off guard. But it has not worked yet. Just right there again, the Stratford defense. When it's inside the tackles, the Stratford defense has been very good stopping the run.
Covington out of the pistol. Turns, gives to the left. End zone. Checking for flags. There are none. That's a good old-fashioned touchdown, folks. Offensive. Our first offensive points of the night come with 2:26 to play. And East Nashville has scored 16 unanswered, and they'll have a chance to add more here, presumably with a 2-point try.
Yeah, and they're not even going to try and kick the extra point. I think they've had enough issues with the special team snaps as well. They're just going to line up and go for two here, which I don't blame them, but Stratford's defense has been really good in close quarters.
Covington rolling toward his right. Yeah, caught for a two-point conversion. That's Cavante Pitts, who had an interception earlier in this ball game. All of a sudden, East Nashville's offense kind of looking like what we thought we might see coming into this ball game. Their most fluid drive, and they have put up 18 unanswered to lead the Stratford Spartans here. 18-9 is your score. Casey and I return after this. 2:26 left in the first half.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25-plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
$18-9 is your score. That might sound like an unusual one. This has been an unusual game. East Nashville has rattled off all those 18 unanswered. And they kick it away to Stratford. Return will push it out to around the 34-yard line. There's a flag down.
Didn't see that coming.
You got to get a little better on your delivery there, partner. I almost believed you. But, yeah, as Casey's pointed out, there have been a multitude of penalties here tonight.
Well, and I like to complain about officials. You know, don't get me wrong. I watch a lot of SEC football, and I like to gripe about those guys because a lot of that seems kind of nonsense. These guys tonight, I think they've thrown the flag when they had to. And, I mean, it's been some pretty obvious stuff, like you said a minute ago, people just jumping off sides and, I mean, just really easy stuff, a lot of procedural stuff that shouldn't really be happening. But this is one of those games, it's just wild, and it's wild from every aspect.
Stratford now would like to get some offensive production. Even if you don't score, you just want to keep East Nashville's offense from getting the ball back because they suddenly have the mojo here. And, again, a stretch play. We've seen East Nashville absolutely stuff the run up the middle. Stratford finally altering their play calling there, trying to go east to west that time. Didn't do much difference. They lose 2. A minute 51 to go.
Well, they don't have enough hats in the box. They got 5 offensive linemen, just a running back. They got 6 guys in the box for East Nashville.
Empty backfield. That's not good news for Wilson. He is slammed to the turf. Lassoed and hogtied in the backfield by Tyler Fleming. We mentioned it. Both teams have had great pressure off the outside edges tonight, and Fleming just wins that battle, comes off clean. And East Nashville, I was just going to point out, they had a couple of timeouts at their disposal, and, yeah, they burned one here. They'll have one left, and we suddenly have third and very long. It's going to be third and about 21. Maybe third and about 25 here. It's 18-9. East Nashville leads. Stratford led this game once upon a time, 9-0. We're in a very precarious spot if you're Stratford right now, Casey, especially considering what we've seen, as you pointed out, with the snap on the punting situation, if they don't somehow pick up this first.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Before even, the snap, I think they're going to have to get some more guys out here to block because every time they try to run the ball or when there's been a sack in the backfield, it's been 5 offensive linemen, and that's the only people blocking for Stratford. East Nashville's putting 6 to 7 people in the box at all times. I think Stratford's just losing the battle up front because they don't have as many people, and they're going to need to put some more people up there to give Anton Wilson enough time to make anything happen or to give Santana Frost anywhere to run because neither one of those two things have happened within the past 30 minutes or so.
Minute 35 to go. Third and a country mile is our PA announcer. lets the Stratford faithful know. And, yes, it is third and very long. What does Wilson have in store? He's got to get rid of the ball. He does. It's a screen play, and his pass is complete. Pressure absolutely bearing down on Wilson. He did get the pass away. And out to the 22, Santana Frost made the catch.
Students over there in the sandbox, please refrain from throwing the sand out of our sand pit, please. Thank you.
We got a little admonishment there from the PA announcer for some
Please and thank you.
Those kids
patrons.
are not listening to her.
Patrons over there on the far sideline. The screen pass is completed. And, Casey, the good news is Stratford got that pass completed, because if that had been incomplete, East Nashville would have been able to conserve its time out there. Instead, they had to burn their last one. And even though Stratford will have to punt, 4th and long here, could have been worse, but buckle up. Special teams have been an adventure for both squads tonight.
Yeah, I think Stratford's going to be lucky to get the ball off. Most of the snaps have not been good. When Patterson Thacker did get a punt off earlier, the gunner caught it and ran for a touchdown. So there's all kinds of different things that could happen right here. East Nashville's got 2 guys back here to return, so they know that this ball could go anywhere. Now, the one thing I'd be worried about if you're East Nashville, if you bring the block – and you don't get there, but then you hit the punter, there's all kinds of different ways this thing could go right here.
I don't know that Coach Anthony Law would do this, but Thacker is the backup quarterback.
Good punt.
It was a great job by Thacker to get that away. It was a pretty clean snap, but it had just a little bit of a wobble to it, and so Thacker didn't catch it himself the cleanest. It was nearly blocked. There is a flag. The punt did get away, though, and it is beyond midfield out to the East Nashville 43. But let's check the whistle. I think it's going
to be a hold on Stratford. Yeah, Whitehat's asking East Nashville what he wants to do. Looks like they're going to take the penalty and make them repunt. That's what I would do. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. And that was a great play by. It was a good snap. Finally had some good velocity on it, but Thacker did have to jump up a little bit higher to get that one. He just barely got it off. Just barely got it off. I love this from East Nashville, though. This is a good decision, I think, by them to make them repunt the ball, because they have had so many issues with so many different parts, so many different phases of the special teams part of it. So I think it's a good decision to make them go for it again or punt it again.
The only downside is you're going to bleed a little more time off the clock. But, as fast as East Nashville's offense is capable of going, maybe they're not necessarily as concerned. This has been about as oddly – I used the term entertaining earlier, and I still stand by that, but you could also oddly – just fascinating game tonight. I can't wait to go over the scoring summary. I've already had a couple friends text and said, how in the world did you end up at this score? Or, what happened here? A couple field goals? I'm like, no, just wait. There's more to the story. Thacker will now stand about 6 yards deep in his own end zone. Ball resting at the 9.5-yard line. 1:19 to go till halftime. East Nashville has 2 men deep to return. Any potential punt that does get away here. It's a good snap. And Thacker, yes, he will run the fake. And the pass is incomplete. And it's incomplete, folks. It hit the first intended receiver in the hands. And as the ball is tipped in the air, it nearly was caught by Justice Law, who would have been able to really potentially make a play. Excuse me, it would have been caught by Campbell, the other great receiver here. Don't know if they would have had enough open space to maybe run that for any sort of first down, but it at least would have given themselves a crazy shot at it. But the fake punt from your own 9-yard line bites Stratford, and East Nashville leads this game 18-9 and will have a chance to pad its lead here just before halftime.
When those 2 punt returners for East Nashville were the only 2 guys back there, if he does make that catch,
would have been one of the wildest conversions via fake you have ever seen. Covington, little floater, near side. That ball is hauled in by Fuller. Good job of faking to his other tailback there. Van Leer kind of freezing the defense and then dumping one off in the flat. Santana Frost in on the tackle. East Nashville quickly up to the ball. 2nd and goal from about the 3 into the end zone. Touchdown. And a very late flag comes in. One of the linemen for East Nashville. Let's see if the touchdown stands, because that was well behind the play, and it was a little bit after the score. Kind of 2 linemen just continuing the play after. And I want to...
Yeah, they're going to give it to him.
I think that was Arsenio Frost, the senior center.
Personal foul on the Spartans.
But what that does do, we've already seen Stratford return a kickoff after a short field.
They may try the onside kick now, getting the 15 yards on the kickoff next.
This is about as wild of a game as you'll ever see. They're going to go for 2. That pass was nearly a miraculous interception in the end zone. So 24-9 is your new score. I'm kind of speechless, Casey. This is. I knew with these teams being rivals, even though it was not a region opponent anymore, that we could be in for some crazy theatrics tonight, but this kind of defies even what I was anticipating. Stratford led this game 9-0. East has poured on 24 unanswered. And who knows? We still got 47 seconds left till halftime.
Yeah, and I'm like you right now, partner. I'm usually not ever speechless. I mean, I even talk in my sleep, but right now this has been one of the more wilder games. And a lot of it for me is I always like to try and figure out what's going to happen next, what the coaches are thinking, what the players are doing and stuff like that. But when you have a game with so many different outcomes from each play like this, it's hard to get a feel for the game. But you got to give East Nashville a lot of credit. Regardless of all the this and that nonsense and stuff that didn't go their way, they just put their foot down in the ground after they got down 9-0, and now they're back up 24-9. I kind of felt like this had an opportunity to be a game with a lot of scoring, and East Nashville has proved that correct here in that second quarter. I'd like to see Stratford kind of open up the offense a little bit more. I think they've been really stagnant, especially with the short run plays up the middle are just not working on first down. They're going to need to get some more blockers in there, but we're going to have another deep kickoff from the other 45 now. I'm going to be bothered about this all night long.
East Nashville will boot it away. We will get a return, though, from the 1-yard line over toward that far side. I mean, and it's been this kind of game that I'm kind of surprised that we didn't see Frost somehow pop loose and have like a 60 or 70-yard return. This has been a crazy game with about 6 or 7 just wild plays, including a punt return that kind of defied the laws of physics for a touchdown for East Nashville for their first TD of the night. The Eagles, again, were trailing 9-0 not that long ago, and now their defense moving and grooving, kind of bouncing up and down, jiving a little bit, got an extra little bit of pep in their step. And if you're Stratford, they attempt to take a knee, and there's a bad exchange on the snap. Luckily, they fall on the football.
I think the defensive tackle for East Nashville thought he was going to grab the ball, and he tried to jump at it. And I'm surprised they didn't throw a flag, really. Might have to take one more knee before we get to halftime. But Stratford, and I do not blame them, Stratford is not interested in really trying to run too much of anything right now.
Yeah, and if you're Stratford, you are just praying that the clock's lined up enough that you don't have to snap it again. It has been the oddest half of football we've seen in quite some time.
Hat, folks.
And again, we've called games for both of these teams earlier this year versus high-level competition. East Nashville at Beach, Stratford at Stewart's Creek. And those nights, these teams were executing at a much higher level. But be that as it may, the execution has not really been there, except late in the second quarter here by East Nashville. But despite all that, it has been an entertaining game as the clock does hit triple zeros, and we do reach halftime. Casey and I are going to take a, we'll call it like it is. Selfishly, we'll call it a much-needed, much-deserved, if nothing else, quick break here as we'll regather ourselves and we'll come back. When we do return, we will update you guys on scoring from the first half. We'll give you guys a recap of what's going on elsewhere in the state of Tennessee across high school football land tonight. And then Casey and I will also get you ready for the rest of the weekend here. All that coming up and more as halftime coverage of the Main Street Preps Game of the Week rolls right along here on Main Street Media Radio. Casey and I return right after this from Stratford High School, where it is East Nashville leading 24-9.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25-plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
There's a line that links us all. Most of the time, we don't even think about it. But it's everywhere. Illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart, we believe in the power of good energy. And as your family and region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
Deep in a forest at Nashville Zoo, new creatures here for you to view. Phantoms graced in black and white swing high in trees of dappled light. In rocky crags, tall and steep, small antelopes with nimble feet. A wise old man with beard of white, a sentry perched on stony height. Amidst it all, a hunter lies, with coat of gold and steely eyes. A new adventure just for you. Leopard Forest at Nashville Zoo. Open now.
Step into the Lionel retail store at Opry Mills, Nashville, and you'll be captivated by all the magic of the 123-year history of Lionel trains. Whether you're already a train enthusiast or just getting started, Lionel will energize your love for trains. NASCAR fan? Come check out your local Lionel station to learn all there is to know about model trains and die-cast NASCAR collectibles. Visit nashville.lionel.com or call 615-455-9399.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
What are you doing out there?
Come on!
I saw you at the game the other night. Yeah, you. Up there getting mad, acting like we're all out there making $1 million a game. Well, let me be real with you. This isn't the pros. It's school sports, and it's a game, our game. So please, let us play.
School sports fans, remember, when you cheer for your team, make noise for the right reasons. This message presented by the NFHS and the NIAAA.
And all student athletes in Tennessee.
Step into the Lionel retail store at Opry Mills, Nashville, and you'll be captivated by all the magic of the 123-year history of Lionel trains. Whether you're already a train enthusiast or just getting started, Lionel will energize your love for trains. NASCAR fan? Come check out your local Lionel station to learn all there is to know about model trains and die-cast NASCAR collectibles. Visit nashville.lionel.com or call 615-455-9399.
Busy
I need to make a call. Hey, this is Brianna with Busy Bee. I'm giving you a call to let you know your technician is on his way.
Busy Bee. Guys, not yet. Not yet.
Busy Bee,
Not ready, guys.
Call 775-7833.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
Timeout!
All right! Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the TSSAA and the Tennessee Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Being in Tennessee, we wanted to try to keep it as local as possible, so we have an entire section of our menu that is just dedicated to local whiskeys like Uncle Nearest, Jack Daniel's, of course, George Dickel, Nelson Brothers, Greenbrier whiskey, and all of our taps are all local. From 2 o'clock until midnight, we've got food every day for you guys. A good handful of appetizers, some entrees, and a couple salads and things like that. My name is Ethan Kanata. Please come down and see us at the Pick Lobby Bar here at the Omni in Nashville.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
What are you doing out there?
Come on!
I saw you at the game the other night. Yeah, you. Up there getting mad, acting like we're all out there making $1 million a game. Well, let me be real with you. This isn't the pros. It's school sports, and it's a game, our game. So please, let us play.
School sports fans remember, when you cheer for your team, make noise for the right reasons. This message presented by the NFHS and the NIAAA.
And all student athletes in Tennessee.
Deep in a forest at Nashville Zoo, new creatures here for you to view. Phantoms graced in black and white swing high in trees of dappled light. In rocky crags, tall and steep, small antelopes with nimble feet. A wise old man with beard of white, a sentry perched on stony height. Amidst it all, a hunter lies, with coat of gold and steely eyes. A new adventure just for you. Leopard Forest at Nashville Zoo. Open now.
If you want the latest in weather conditions, be sure to tune in to our Busy Bee Plumbing Weather Report each weekday on Mornings on Main Street. Brought to you, of course, by Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning. We will keep you updated on the latest conditions outside, like severe weather, heat, snow, rain, and even hail.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Halftime coverage here on Main Street. Main Street Preps Game of the Week coverage presented all season long by our friends at the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, as well as Delta Dental, who reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk. Casey Patrick has gone down field level. I just returned from field level. It is a packed house here tonight on the campus of Stratford High School, and East Nashville has scored 24 unanswered points to lead this game 24-9. One of the more unusual first halves of football that you will ever see, but East Nashville has kind of pulled away here. And again, 24-9 is your score. They will also receive the opening kickoff of the second half. We're going to take a 1-minute timeout. When we come back, I'll give you guys some scores from across the state. Stick around, folks. Main Street Preps Game of the Week coverage comes right back after this.
Deep in the forest at Nashville Zoo, new creatures here for you to view. Phantoms graced in black and white swing high in trees of dappled light. In rocky crags, tall and steep, small antelopes with nimble feet. A wise old man with beard of white, a sentry perched on stony height. Amidst it all, a hunter lies, with coat of gold and steely eyes. A new adventure just for you. Leopard Forest at Nashville Zoo. Open now.
If you want the latest in weather conditions, be sure to tune in to our Busy Bee Plumbing weather report each weekday on Mornings on Main Street. Brought to you, of course, by Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning. We will keep you updated on the latest conditions outside, like severe weather, heat, snow, rain, and even hail.
Halftime coverage rolling right along here on Main Street Preps Game of the Week action. It has been a fun one here on the campus of Stratford. And again, Stratford, props to all of the staff, props to all the fans, props to everybody involved with the Spartans for putting together a great show here tonight. You knew the band was going to deliver, and they just did a moment ago. I got to give a shout out. When you're in Stratford territory, I got to give a shout out. Riker Lugo, tuba player in the Stratford band. Proud Papa James Lugo, good friend of mine. I saw him down in the concourse a moment ago. Also, shout out to good friend and former intern of mine. Yes, proud to say that. Former intern of mine, Martin Methodist basketball standout Keoka Wade. NAI All-American Keoka Wade. The pride of Pearl Cone, speaking of Metro. But having said all that, it is 24-9. East Nashville leads. This has been a game really devoid of any rhythm or momentum. I'm going to attempt to recap your scoring. We did not get an offensive touchdown until late in the second quarter, despite the fact we had a lot of points put up on the scoreboard. Stratford took in a lead early. If you did not tune in The first 4 possessions between the two teams all ended in turnovers, as we saw Stratford on the opening possession, pass intercepted. East Nashville then fumbled on 4th down, but they were actually technically stopped turnover on downs. Stratford then fumbles. East Nashville fumbles. We got a Stratford punt. And then finally, with 2:43 to go in the first quarter, it was Stratford, after a botched snap on a punt attempt from East Nashville's own end zone. It's kicked out of the back of the end zone. Stratford leads 2-0. They immediately return the ensuing free kick to the end zone themselves and lead the game at that point 9-0. Not to be outdone, though, a special teams touchdown from East Nashville on one of the more unusual punt returns. A shanked punt by by Stratford. East Nashville return man on the far sideline stays with the play, returns it as if he was designated to return it the whole time. And when he makes the return, he runs some 60 yards for the score. East Nashville says, you know what? We see your safety earlier, Stratford. We're going to get one back ourselves. So they do. So Stratford led 9-0. After the punt return and 2-point conversion, they still lead 9-8. But East picks up a safety and leads it 10-9. At that point, however, East's offense really kind of started humming, and we saw a couple of offensive touchdowns. And the Eagles, after again trailing 9-0, have pulled ahead 24-9, and they get the football to start the second half. I'm a little winded, kind of just recapping that from the first half, but I still promised you guys scores, and scores I shall give you. From over in East Tennessee, it was West Ridge defeating Morristown East tonight, 23-13. Gibbs and Anderson County are locked in a tight one. Maybe one of the best games across the state of Tennessee tonight. Anderson County leading Gibbs 28-24. William Blount on top of Heritage. That's not White House Heritage. That is Heritage over in Blount County. A Blount County battle as William Blount leads that one again versus Heritage 27-20. A final from East Tennessee. Meigs County, really good 3A football team. Rolls up on Brainerd tonight 65-6. As Casey rejoins us here, halftime scores. We told you Murfreesboro/Rutherford County was all in action tonight as they get ready for fall break next week. Oakland with a 28-14 lead on Rockvale at halftime. Riverdale down on the reservation there leading Smyrna 17-0. And also at halftime, Blackman leads Stewart's Creek 28-0. Final few scores here. Clay County is on top of Middle Tennessee Christian. That game's already in the fourth quarter. 22-0 is your score there. And Centennial, not used to seeing Centennial with just one win this deep in the season, Casey. Franklin has just one win, but they were improved last year. But despite all that, Centennial leads that game 10-0. And then finally, Ravenwood, one of the true powers across all classifications in the state of Tennessee, they're locked in a tight one, folks. 7-7 versus Independence. That game just starting the second half. Borderline upset alert there, Casey Patrick.
Yeah, and honestly, I was really interested to see what the score of that Oakland-Rockville game was going to be, but that 7-7 Ravenwood and Independence game, that's
look out.
I don't want to say it's too surprising because, like you said, Independence is a good program, but I kind of figured Ravenwood may run away with that one, but hey, good job by Indy there to kind of hold their own.
Scoreboard pretty deep tonight. And having said that, we like to do this each and every single week at halftime. As I mentioned, Casey made it back up, by the way, in record time. Because the crowd here is fantastic, but the concourse is rather congested. So I don't know how you did that, but props to you, my friend. But next week, we will be in action yet again. It'll be Casey and Calvin White, and they'll be lining up for a big higher classification. You know, we got a 3A, 2A battle tonight But, wow, we got a real good one next week, Casey, as 3-3 Shelbyville comes in to take on 4-2 Clarksville. Clarksville kind of becoming, not royalty per se, but they certainly are one of the real powers of 6A football.
Yeah, year in and year out, they're coached really well. They seem to do everything at least somewhat good. Very rarely do the Wildcats shoot themselves in the foot. Again, and I'm drawing a blank for their coach, but he's a great coach. Isaac Shelby, I think, is his name. And he's a great coach. And they are every year. Of course, Dixon and Clarksville play quite a bit. And so I've seen him a few times. And Coach Shelby, I mean, he's got a lot of respect from the other coaches around here in this area. Everybody else knows how good of a job he does. So I'm excited to see. I don't know much about Shelbyville, but I am excited to see what kind of matchup we got next week.
Should be a dandy, as Casey, I'm going to whisper this. Season,
I know.
We're in October. This is the best month of the year. I'm just going to go ahead and declare that. And I say that as a November birthday baby.
Oh, there you go.
But October is really where it's at because if it hasn't already, and tonight definitely is unseasonably warm, but if it hasn't yet, you get the leaves, start turning. You get the temperatures kind of dropping. Football weather, quote unquote, kind of finally emerges. But then these region matchups, Casey, we mentioned Stratford is 2-2 coming into tonight's game. No matter what happens here tonight, they're going to be 0-0 in region play. They have yet to play a Region 5 AAA game. They got at White House Heritage, Westmoreland, at Whites Creek, and Maplewood to close it out. Meanwhile, East Nashville, this is their final non-region game. They're at Hickman County, a program you and I cover. That'll be a big one down in Centerville next Friday. They close with Houston County. And, Casey, you want to talk about a mammoth matchup on October 30th, Thursday Night Football. East Robertson at East Nashville, most likely for your region championship, and perhaps likely East Robertson rolling in undefeated. Who knows what East Nashville's record is at that point? They've got a pretty good shot to go unbeaten the rest of the way. But we got some electric matchups coming down the stretch, including all the matchups I just gave you for both of our teams here tonight.
Yeah, and I'm kind of interested to see what that Houston County team is made of. I don't know exactly how good they are. East Hickman is coming off losing quite a few guys, and Hickman County's went through 2 or 3 coaching changes in the last 12 months, so that's a program that's building. So what that tells me is you've got East Robertson, who was in the state finals 2 years ago, and then you've got a program like East Nashville, who very strong year in and year out with a lot of talent. I kind of feel the same way you do. I think you're going to get to that October 30th matchup with a region title on the line. East Robertson's going to be hard for anybody to beat, but I'm going to tell you right now, if this East Nashville Dallas Covington team, if they can stop with the self-inflicted errors, they're hard to beat too, and they're going to be hard to beat by just about anybody. It don't matter who you line up and play when you've got athletes like they do have. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen on that final week of the year.
And we mentioned East Nashville is 1-4, but they to say have played a challenging schedule might be a little bit of a undersell there. They opened the season at Collierville. They go the next week and host Antioch, one of the top teams in 6A football, and they drop a heartbreaker. They're 32-27. They go to Beach, the game that we did, falling by 3. They lose by 1 at home to Springfield, a game that was broadcast on MyTV 30. They played 4 elite teams, and then poor East Hickman runs into a really upset and aggravated East Nashville team. East Nashville might go. It's going to be wild because they could end up that Week 10 matchup, 5-4. Record-wise, maybe not the most glamorous, but they have been battle-tested and then some.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of these coaches, they schedule pretty tough teams and at the beginning of the year because you got to show your guys what winners look like. If you don't really know exactly what you have with your team, and I don't think any coach does, in August, but you want to schedule some games where it pushes your guys. You want to schedule some games where you have to figure out what you're made of. And I think every team needs to go through that. And maybe East Nashville's starting to, really figure out what they are made of coming into the important part of the schedule. if it is working out the way the Eagles want it to, then it's perfect timing by the coach. It's perfect timing with the schedule. But I like those tough matchups early in the year. I do that with my bowling team. You know, we try and schedule all the tough guys we can because you know, the best, you got to be the best, you got to beat the best.
Absolutely. To your point, also, as we get ready for this second half kickoff, Casey, there's so much emotion. We mentioned this is not a region game, but there are so many close friends and in some cases, you know, even siblings on both sides of this rivalry here. You also wonder if that is not played a huge factor in some of the penalties that we saw in the first half. So I think both of these teams, no matter what happens in this second half, will probably settle down, quote unquote, as they head into their contest next week. Kickoff goes out to around the 25-yard line. East Nashville return man picking it up, taking it out to about the 30. Again, it's East 24, Stratford 9. As we begin the second half here on Main Street Preps Radio, Casey Patrick alongside yours truly, Wade Neely.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this East Nashville offense here in the second half because if they do get settled down, they're going to be able to run at a pretty high clip. They've done that a little bit against the Stratford defense. Now, when Stratford gets when they can get their guys into the box, they've been really strong against the East Nashville run. But I'm excited to see Covington open up the offense here in the second half.
They will toss toward our near sideline here. Kind of a long handoff, as we referenced earlier. That goes to Kenny Fuller, who's one of your running backs, but he's out there at receiver. Makes the grab, immediately cuts upfield, and he picks up about 8 yards right around the 40-yard line. Eagles are driving right to left here in this third quarter.
And they're going to go fast again, which didn't really help them a whole lot in that first half.
Little stutter step here, as I've been impressed what I've seen from this youngster, Jordan Van Leer, who, again, has come on for the Eagles as of late. 5'7", 150 pounds. He stretches for an extra yard or two. Already had the first down. And East Nashville on the move here, out across the 40. First and 10 from their own 42. Ball resting on the left hash. Van Leer is to the right hip of the quarterback, Covington, who delivers one of those, again, kind of slot screens almost. I call it a long handoff, and that one is hauled in by Cortez Murphy. And Murphy found a little real estate over there toward his East Nashville sideline, and maybe about 2 yards after all said and done.
Well, he had about 4, and then he went backwards a little bit trying to make something happen. I can't really blame him there, but you don't usually want to go backwards.
Massive crowd on hand here tonight. 3.5 miles between these two schools. Over here on Stratford Ave, but right off of Main Street for East Nashville there. A little give up the middle. I've been impressed with both of our units up front. Reed kind of in on the tackle yet again. Marco Reed, he's had a couple of offside penalties, but who hasn't on Stratford? There's been a few. But he's played well off the edge, helps assist on that stop there.
When Jaden McMillan was in the game at running back for East Nashville there, so you see Van Leer getting a little bit of a break. But we've talked about Johnson a little bit tonight, Keith Johnson. He has been out. I think I see him over there at the end of the sideline. You wonder how long he's going to be not dressed out for East Nashville, because that's a serious weapon for those guys.
Covington takes a little bit of a high snap, back pedals, now drops one. Perfectly in stride to Murphy, Cortez making the grab. Brilliant execution there. A little drag route. Hit Murphy right in stride. Had the first down and then some, and East Nashville's on the move, folks. They are out across midfield. This is the opening drive of the second half. They lead it 24-9.
Well, and when you run those drag routes, it's really hard to beat it with man defense. You really want the kind of a zone there. But that was a really good play from East Nashville because they had two guys on the seams that kind of pulled those middle linebackers with them that the zone wouldn't have worked anyway.
That was nearly a lateral that time as they deliver one in the slot yet again. Murphy hauls it in. Murphy leads the team in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. 16, 302, and 3 to be specific. They got another good receiver, Damian Elder. He didn't play last week, so you also wonder he's maybe going to be out for a little stretch here.
Yeah, I haven't seen him much.
We have not called the name of Jared Osei-Bonsu, who did have a great catch, touchdown grab, as a matter of fact, in that game versus Beach. And Covington was looking his way right there. But now the pressure comes, and Covington brought down in the backfield. Covington looked to his left, finally made the decision to roll to his right, but the pressure was there. I've shouted out the defensive lines, but the linebackers for both of these teams have been phenomenal as well, flowing to the football.
Yeah, that was Cesar Harris right there. He got kind of get back there in the backfield for East Nashville. Van Leer did everything he could to try and hold off and blocking, but Harris is a little bit bigger guy than Van Leer. He just got around Van Leer and ran down Covington. And good for Harris. Covington didn't see him coming, and he got a little bit of a late jump to run away from him. Couldn't get away.
This is a big third down, 3rd and 15. East is ahead, 24-9. Covington looks to his left again, rolls to his right, but this time he's going to now turn upfield. A trio of Spartans in on the tackle there. Flying off the left side edge. Nashawn Holbert in on the tackle there, one of the three. And let's see how much. Maybe got back to the original line of scrimmage. So it'll be 4th and 10. 7.5 minutes to go here in this third quarter.
When I know that East Nashville, they probably don't want to put their special teams out there, but a punt here, oh man, that was a hard snap right there. Now Covington's got his hands on his knees like he's not feeling too good, but the hard count right there got him 5 yards for make the 4th down a little bit easier.
Yeah, Covington took a little bit of a shot, and as Casey's pointed out, the East Nashville offense is going. They're not going hyper turbo. They're not hyping the Vols at their peak, but they're going pretty fast. It'll be 4th and 5 after the penalty is marked off. We've seen East convert 3rd and 4th and longs tonight, but this is a little more manageable. They'll play fake. Pressure, though, coming in, and Covington is stopped in the backfield. Couple of Spartans in on the tackle, including your linebacker, James Sanders. Says, big fella, you're coming with me. Grabs onto Covington, who tried to make something happen, but they call him in the grasp, and he is stopped. Second time that East Nashville has turned it over on downs, kind of deep in Stratford territory.
Well, that Stratford front six has had its moments tonight where they played really well. And that's why I was thinking right there, I know East Nashville really didn't want to put their special teams out there, but as good as you've been near the goal line with your defense, I really felt like the Eagles could put the Spartans in a bad spot there with a good punt.
Turn, give, stuff. That, speaking of defensive pressure, and by the way, this front for East Nashville, Tyler Fleming and Devin Phillips, they are taking turns calling their own shots out there. That time it was Phillips. He led the unit that just swallowed up your tailback in the backfield, Santana Frost. Not the biggest back to begin with, but he was lost right there. This is a crazy high snap. And right on cue, there is Santana Frost falling on the football. Casey, that was kind of like you see the victory formation. The running back is behind the quarterback. That was not by design, but Frost was able to fly to the football and maintain possession. It's going to be 3rd and very long, but at least your offense is still out on the field.
Yeah, Stratford needs to figure out the snapping issues they've got before they do anything else.
Turn, give.
Nothing.
Yeah, stuff. I didn't want to repeat the call from a moment ago, but I very easily well could have, because, again, that time it was Fleming who was more so involved. And buckle up, folks. This has been an adventure all night, a special teams play. Both teams.
Yeah.
It's been interesting because both teams have certainly had their low moments on special teams, but both opposing corresponding units have made some plays. We've seen 2 returns for touchdowns.
The funny thing here, the first down marker is at the 50-yard line, and the punter will be punting it from his own end zone. 1.5 yards deep in the end zone is Patterson Thacker. We saw
Stratford attempt a fake punt from their own 9 earlier. This is a high snap. East does not bring much pressure, though.
A fairly good punt.
Yeah, all things considered. It's going to end up being about a 53-yard ball. I take that back. It's picked up. Ran down the sideline by Murphy. Tiptoeing. Now crossing. Oh, my word. Oh, my word. Cortez Murphy lulled the punt unit to sleep. Walks up and picks up the ball right in front of the Stratford sideline and then tiptoes down before he crosses field at about the 30 and runs 30 yards untouched to pay dirt. A crazy play. Yet another special teams moment in this contest as East Nashville extends its lead. It's 30-9. Wow.
What a play. Cortez Murphy right there. I mean, you talk about 200 IQ, 500 IQ, whatever you want to talk about. That a great play. He saw a few of the Stratford players standing there. They were just watching the ball kind of about to go out of bounds. And Cortez Murphy, I mean, like a bullet. He come through there, had a running start, grabbed it, ran past. Like you said, he ran down the sideline about 30 yards right in front of the Stratford Spartans here, and then cut back across the field. And once he cut back, it was nothing but green grass before the orange end zone.
East Nashville will attempt a traditional PAT, and no good. Seen them convert a couple of two-point conversions tonight, but that time they line up for a traditional. Wow. And, you know, it's hard to cast any blame, really, on anybody from Stratford in that situation because the ball had pretty much – we were probably another revolution from becoming completely stopped and, you know, the ref blowing it dead. But credit to Murphy, who just scoops it up. A little bit risky, but he grabs it, scoots right down the sideline, tightrope walking for about 15 yards or so, and then when he hit the 30, changed direction and headed toward that right pylon. What a return. This game has been bonkers, folks. Third special teams return touchdown of the night.
Well, and it was a risky play there by Murphy, but fortune favors the bold. You know, and a young man went out there and made a play, trying to make a play for his team, and I mean, good for him. What a play!
Now Stratford with a decent little setup on a return here. Good open field tackle, though. I'm telling you, folks, as crazy as a game as this has been, with all the penalties, with the stagnant flow, we've seen some really good tackling tonight. That was Jamad Dixon, a junior, just slamming your ball carrier Campbell to the turf. 4:47 to go. We're in the third quarter alongside Casey Patrick. Wade Neely saying good evening. Casey and Calvin going to be at Clarksville next Thursday.
I'm a little nervous about it, partner. You ain't going to be there. I may mess up something.
Don't say that. Speaking of, here's a high snap, but they got a screen drawn up. Perfect play call. Can they get it executed?
Wilson's pass complete to Santana.
Good job by East Nashville recovering. That had all the makings of a big play on a screen pass. It was a little bit of a high snap, but Anton Wilson did get the ball out and into the arms of Santana Frost, but East Nashville flies to the ball and brings him down after a gain of 4. Could have easily been a big play, but good recovery. Wilson now flings one toward the sideline. That pass incomplete.
I really love the way East Nashville has answered since Stratford went up 9-0. Because, yeah, I mean, you had the safety, you had the kickoff return for a touchdown by Campbell, and Stratford was off and running. You know, 9-0 first quarter. They're firing on all cylinders. And like I've already said this a few times, East Nashville just put their foot in the dirt and said no more. And the Eagles have been very, very good since basically the beginning of the second quarter.
Toss over the middle. Caught. That's Law.
Oh, he's still
and Law spun around but does not go down. And now with momentum on his side, out across the 30, out across the 20, the ball is punched out of his hands from behind. The ball was punched out at around the 14-yard line. Law with a gain of about 40 yards. But luckily, the ball was punched out in very luckily, the ball went out of bounds at an angle and didn't go through the back of the end zone.
I just knew that's what was about to happen, too. I mean, like the way the rest of this game is going on, I just knew that ball was going to bounce through the end zone. But, like you said, it went out of bounds. Good for Stratford. Keep the offense on the field. A great play there. Good throw by Wilson. Great catch and run by Law.
Law's first real catch of the night. First catch of the night, I should say. But he has made a couple great attempts on some overthrows. Now, Wilson showing off a little nimbleness there. Finally brought down in the secondary by Cavante Pitts, who had an interception and then later scored a touchdown on offense. Or on a return, I should say. But a pickup of 5 there. Suddenly the Stratford offense showing its most impressive moments here since the opening drive before they were intercepted. Give up the middle. Stretching, end zone. Good job by Santana Frost right there. On a night where this young man has absorbed hit after hit after hit, they run him off tackle ever so slightly. He eludes one effort and then busts loose into the end zone for a Stratford TD. Chauncey Anthony, a DB for the East Nashville Eagles, is down at the end of the play. But Casey, it was good to see Frost, and it was really just good to see Stratford kind of find its rhythm offensively. Their first drive of the night, they were kind of moving the ball pretty well, and then that interception just ruined all the momentum. They never recovered, but that drive right there, very impressive, marching down, and at least for now, clawing back in this game at 30-15 with the PAT pending.
Well, if they can figure out a way to give Wilson some time, they might be able to claw back into this game. Even on the throw that Wilson made to Law to get him down here in the red zone, even on that play, Wilson made a great play with people in his face. So I think Stratford, they're going to make it a 2-touchdown game here with it's a 2-touchdown game regardless, but make it a 14-point game here with an extra point. So this one's not over by any means, but they have to start blocking.
PAT's on the way. It's up. It's good.
And the kick is good.
Kick is good. We'll take a quick break. Casey and I are back after this.
East Nashville 38.
Suddenly game on here at Stratford. 30-15 your score. 30-16 your score. When we come back on Main Street Prep's Game of the Week coverage.
Deep in a forest at Nashville Zoo, new creatures here for you to view. Phantoms graced in black and white swing high in trees of dappled light. In rocky crags, tall and steep, small antelopes with nimble feet. A wise old man with beard of white, a sentry perched on stony height. Amidst it all, a hunter lies, with coat of gold and steely eyes. A new adventure just for you. Leopard Forest at Nashville Zoo. Open now.
If you want the latest in weather conditions, be sure to tune in to our Busy Bee Plumbing weather report each weekday on Mornings on Main Street. Brought to you, of course, by Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning. We will keep you updated on the latest conditions outside, like severe weather, heat, snow, rain, and even hail.
We got to return, folks. East Nashville taking one at around their own 35. There is a flag on the play. As that was Kason Reed, the junior. First time we've called Reed's name really tonight, as he, just like a moment ago that we saw on the special teams touchdown prior to this one, tiptoeing along that sideline. And he nearly busted loose. It was brought down, but there is a penalty, and it's probably coming back, I would imagine, here.
Yeah, they've already started marching them back here. But, and of course, East Nashville's never going to take yards or points off the board, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad if you can line up, run the ball, and run some clock here, because I think the Eagles may kind of shift to maybe trying to burn the rest of the time left, because Stratford has started to find their footing a little bit.
Yeah, if mentally you were kind of checking out just a little bit, all right, we got control of this game as they got to give here to Fuller for about 6 yards. Holder on the tackle. If you were thinking, all right, this game finally kind of put to bed, all of a sudden now Stratford's showing signs of life. Got to batten down the hatches. This is a 2-score game with 2:40 left here in the third quarter. On a night where we've seen a lot of turnovers, a lot of penalties. Feels like nothing is safe at this point. Stratford led 9-0.
I thought somebody called a timeout. Young man just had his Holbert had his hat come off. He had to come off the field. But East Nashville, again, trying to go fast with the run, and it has not worked yet at all, really. I understand trying to work on it, but now you got yourself in 3rd and 5.
And a give.
Oh, my goodness.
And, oh, my, busting loose here. That's Fuller. We've talked more tonight about Van Leer, but Fuller, who's really kind of come on the last 2 weeks, he had over 100 yards on the ground and a touchdown in that win versus East Hickman. The interesting thing is we got a issue with the spot. Now they finally got it ready. More on the running backs here after this snap, Casey. 2:10 to go. East Nashville just beyond midfield. It's 30-16 here on Main Street. Game of the week coverage. Pass toward the sideline. It is caught, but having to dive to a knee is Fuller. Casey, real quick, one thing we mentioned. Yes, you'd perhaps like to have Johnson back as soon as possible if he is available to come back this season. But in his absence, you suddenly are developing Fuller, developing Van Leer. Even when Johnson comes back, that could give you extra options down the stretch.
Yeah, and I wonder how many other kids you got on that sideline that could run with the ball in their hand, because East Nashville's never short on athletes.
Give running to the left now is Van Leer. Oh, my! Huge collision. One defender bearing down, and then Jackson Law kind of already knowing. Matthew Brown was the DB that already kind of was slowing down Van Leer, and that allowed Law to kind of really come in and make a vicious open field tackle there.
And like I said, I know earlier I said Law, he's a good receiver, don't get me wrong, but out there at safety, he kind of reminds me of Baltimore Ravens' Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah.
He's even got the same kind of body style, and he just runs down. He can make a tackle anywhere. He'll put his helmet down on anybody. I like the way he plays defense. I like the way he plays offense too, but he's good defensively.
3rd and 13. Covington finds Murphy, who had that electric return a moment ago. And he hauls it in. He is going to be shy. Well shy. The body language. I'm kind of confused right now. Every scoreboard and stick had it as 4th down just a moment ago. The pass was completed well shy of the marker. But everybody's staying on the field, so I guess there was a
yeah, they're just going to let the clock run out here for the third quarter.
I think it was originally just 3rd down. So, yeah, it will be 4th down, but it also will be the 4th quarter. Everybody out of sorts a little bit here. But we suddenly got a game on our hands. It's only a 2-possession contest as Stratford led 9-0. But East Nashville has got the lead heading into the 4th quarter. 30-16 is your tally. Casey and I return with 4th quarter action coming up on Main Street Preps. Game of the Week coverage presented all season long by our friends at Delta Dental and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Fourth quarter will begin with a fourth down. If Stratford is going to get back in this game, they need a stop. East Nashville just beyond midfield with the lead and the ball, 30-16. Covington takes the snap out of the gun, looks to his right, now going to scramble to his left. He's got the first down, then some. There goes Dallas Covington, and he's finally upended at around the 19-yard line. Big open rush right there for a talented young man, Dallas Covington, who, Casey, on the year, 27 carries, 209 yards on the ground, and 3 touchdowns. This kid can do it all.
Yeah, and you've got Coach Law down here, and the rest of his coaching staff is not very happy with somebody. I think there was supposed to be a spy on that fourth down play. They had everything else covered.
Give up the middle.
Ooh, what a tackle.
Man, I'm telling you, folks, I know I've said that about 5 or 6 times tonight, but there have been some big-time open field tackles tonight, one-on-one efforts.
And on guys that are hard to tackle, too. Like, you're not just bringing me down. Like, you're tackling some good athletes, you know.
Ladarius Williams.
He's got long enough hair I couldn't see the number on his back of his jersey. I'm glad you could see it on the front.
I'm going to reveal a trade secret after this play here. Is Covington.
Oh, put your shoulder down.
Runs to his left. Sees a defender at the 2, and he says, you know what? I'm running through you.
They're not going to give him the touchdown.
And he ran through him 98% of the way, and that got him to the half-yard line. That is the third time tonight that we've seen East Nashville brought down at the 1-inch line practically.
When I had my hands up, I thought he was in. Great play by Covington. But, and you know, there's a part of me that wishes as a quarterback you just slide and don't get hit, but there's a part of me that really loves when you put your head down and go get some yards too.
Defender squared up, and then Covington said, okay, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this. This ball hits the deck. Busted play. Stratford recovers. Second time tonight that the Spartans have recovered deep in their own territory. Coming up with the football is Emmanuel Brown. It was miscommunication in the backfield. Covington was looking for someone to hand the ball off to, and then finally at the last moment was able to locate a breadbasket, but it was not delivered cleanly. Ball hits the ground. There's Emmanuel falling right on it. And again, for the second time, that's the second time from the inch line that East Nashville has turned it over this evening.
Well, and Stratford, again, they've come out here and on just about every single first down, they've tried to run some sort of an inside zone. And I really hope they don't try it again because it's just going to be a loss of 3. Just a loss of 1 this time. But it was another inside zone, and it just has not worked for the Spartans all night long. Now the clock's going to start running. You're down 2 touchdowns. You've only got 10 minutes left. You're on your own 4-yard line. Your team is doing everything they can to keep you in it. I feel like you need to start calling some plays to help them out.
We got
Oh, no.
Got an injury timeout here. Hope this young man's okay. Frost, I believe.
Yep.
And I tell you what, we got an injury timeout. Casey and I are going to step aside for a break. Stratford's got the ball, but they trail by 14, and they're deep in their own territory. It's 30-16 East Nashville when Casey and I return. Injury timeout here at Stratford.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Frost came off the field. Stratford snapped it quickly as soon as he came off. They got a backup tailback in there after Santana Frost left. And now they're snapping it 3rd and 11 from their own end zone. That throw is caught. And, man, they got it away, and they got it away to their stud, Jackson Law.
And now he looks like he might be cramping up a little bit.
Yeah, and he nearly spun out of a would-be tackle. Good job of bringing him down. That was a heck of an effort over there on that sideline by Jamad Dixon. So Law is brought down 3 yards shy of the line to gain.
Stratford sending out the punter. I mean, it's 4th and 4. They are deep in their own territory, but, I mean, the clock's already running. It doesn't feel like the urgency or the play calling is matching trying to win the game right now, just from my perspective. Good snap on the punt this time.
And you punt it away here. They do down it, so there won't be a repeat of the return for touchdown. Yeah, you said it, Casey. Trailing by 14 with 8 minutes to go. I know you don't want to punt it away. And you're kind of you're almost in a catch-22 there, right? Because if you don't convert, obviously the game is over. But also you don't really give yourself much of a shot here. You're going to need to play absolutely perfect football down the stretch to even have a shot, unless maybe you get a gift. And we've seen, as my good friend Chris Bledsoe would like to say, we've seen East Nashville play Santa Claus and kind of start giving out gifts. They play fake here. They'll throw for it. Murphy catching it in on the sideline. Murphy's approaching double-digit receptions tonight. And for as many good open field tackles as we've had, Murphy eluded 2 different ones right there. And he is close to the first down.
He thought he had one. He got up and pointed like it was a first down, but I believe he's going to be about 12 inches short. No, he's going to be a whole yard short.
2nd and 1. That's bad news for Stratford, because that means Covington has the whole playbook at his disposal, and he calls his own number on a QB keeper. Good tackle there on the near sideline by William Shelton to keep Covington out of the end zone.
Oh, because he was gone. Shelton saved the touchdown.
Yeah, that's the good news. You keep him out of the end zone. The bad news is that gives East Nashville a chance to wind even more clock here. Again, the ball's at the 12. That's a double whammy. They could technically even get a first down here at the 2.
And the Eagles are still going quite a bit faster than I feel like I would. But, again, I'm a bowling coach, not a football coach.
They fake the sweep, and Covington gets his touchdown. Just 1 snap later, he is not brought down at the 1 this time. End zone for Dallas Covington. Nice rushing touchdown. This has not been the most glamorous game at times for the East Nashville offense, but when they have put it all together and not been their own worst enemy in terms of penalties, they have been as impressive as we saw a couple weeks ago versus Beach. That TD makes it 36-16. 6:59 left to go in this contest.
Well, I think that may have been the first time. Oh, we're going to have a block.
That kick is blocked because all kicks are blocked these days.
Kickers, man. It's not even kickers' fault, really. That's the first time I think I've seen East Nashville run like a veer option. And they've ran that to Cortez Murphy to the left a few times, a few other receivers on like the jet sweep stuff. But that time Covington kept it and kind of like Moses, just part of the Red Sea. He could walk right up the middle as much as he wanted. It hole was open and wide open. Spartans pull ahead, and we got what about 7 minutes left now. So, Stratford. I think Stratford had an opportunity there to really. I really feel like they should have went for it on fourth down when they had the ball. I know it was deep in their own territory, but East Nashville took back over at the 45-yard line, and 3 plays later they add to the scoreboard.
It's easy for us to say, but yeah, I'm kind of in agreement there. Worst case, maybe throw one deep, and even if you don't catch it, we've seen Law make some acrobatic grabs. Even if you don't grab it, maybe get a flag, but instead Stratford now trails 36-16. Now we got an issue on the kickoff. Ooh, and very lucky. It's a scrum for the ball. And East Nashville has got it. Yes, they have recovered after a mishandled kickoff. Chauncey Anthony, who was injured a moment ago, has returned, and he comes down with it. They just kick it over that second level, and the return man overran the ball and scrambling back to it. East Nashville flying downhill. Props to Anthony for coming up at the bottom of the pile with the football. Eagles take over, looking for more points here at the 18.
When the scoreboard is starting to give us some issues again. It says it's 8-0, but we've got the score written down right here, so we know.
It is an old school move, just unplug the scoreboard, kind of pretend. Good throw over here on this near sideline. Ja'Shawn Taylor, I believe, on the completion. Casey, I mentioned it a moment ago. You asked who had made a tackle for Stratford, and I said it was Ladarius Williams. And you said, man, props to him. He's got those long dreads that cover up his entire backside of his jersey. Props to you for being able to see the front. I must come clean, partner, because you're near and dear to my heart. I love you dearly. The public address announcer has been our best friend at times tonight, and we are pretty close to the speaker. And when she called out LD, I said, that's got to be Ladarius right there, who wears number 32 for the Spartans. Here's a toss in the flat, and I don't know where this East Nashville offense has been. They've kind of just been bubbling beneath the surface, but they're into the end zone. That's Aaron Evan, 5'11 senior. Hauled it in, a little 5-yard button hook, and then he takes off, and it's 42-16 in one of the more deceiving fourth quarter scores you'll see. We got 5:49 to go. Stratford again led this game 9-0. And they weren't rolling, but East Nashville looked horribly out of sync. And right as I mentioned, the offense has looked great tonight here in this second half. Slammed in the backfield. Nashawn Holbert making a stop on Covington with 5:49 to play. Casey, Thursday night football, just kind of the appetizer for what we got going on. You're in action, double dose of duty for you this week. Tell us where we can find you tomorrow night. Tell us where we can find you on Saturday.
Well, tomorrow night I'm gonna head out to Creekwood. They're doing a lot of the homecoming stuff this week, and so Friday they're gonna have homecoming against Northwest. That's a team that I've got to see quite a bit over the last few years, and I believe Coach Booker out there, he's trying to do the best he can to get a program turned around. So. I'm really interested. The Redhawks have struggled. Of course, they played Stratford earlier this year. Creekwood's really struggled in the second half of some games. They've been able to get out to some leads, but giving up a few second half leads. But I'll be out there on Friday night, and then on Saturday I'm going to return to the same field. Dixon County is going to be hosting Spring Hill at 11 o'clock in the morning. And I figured with the Volunteers taking a Saturday off, I'd go ahead and take one on.
See, as this kickoff is fielded cleanly and falling to the turf for Stratford is Joe Campbell. So they'll take over at their own 22. 42-16 is your score. I knew something was up earlier in the week when Casey says, yeah, I'll handle that game, no problem, because just a few weeks ago, Dixon County had a similar situation. And, you know, I'm not one to accuse or say things, but Casey says, you know, hey, I'd really like to, you know, hang with and spend some time with my family. You know, it's the weekend. I got a few things I need to do. I said, hey, man, no problem. I got you back. I'll cover Dixon County and Northwest over at Creekwood High School. I'd be glad to do it. I look at my ESPN score app, you know, I don't know, halftime of our game, and I couldn't help but notice that the Vols were indeed playing around that time. So I'm somewhat not surprised when you tell me that, yeah, they're off this week. But a big win for them down at Mississippi State, as we got to give here on 1st and 10, picking up about 7 yards for the Stratford Spartans.
Yeah, well, now when I told you I wanted to spend some time with family, I may have left out the in front of the screen, TV screen part.
I later learned that was, you know, you just forgot to send that part of the text. I understand. But it was fun, and you're right. And, here's a throw off his back foot, jumping. Wilson, one of the more acrobatic throws off his back foot, just leaps into the air, kind of like a shortstop deep in the hole, firing across the bag at first.
I was thinking that looked like Derek Jeter.
Yeah, and nearly kept it off. It was just beyond the outstretch and overthrew his man slightly. That's the crazy part. Incomplete. On a night of unusual plays, that would have been a highlight level play.
When you see Campbell coming off the field, he's struggling a little bit. I think he was the one that had it go off of his fingers, so if he's starting to cramp up a little bit, that makes sense. But what a heck of a throw by Wilson. I thought Campbell almost had a chance to bring that in.
And now immediately bobbled snap here. And 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. Going to push it back. It'll be 4th and 10. We mentioned the schedules next week. East Nashville's down at Hickman County. Region game for the now 2A. That is going to be an interesting storyline as the season goes along. We talked a lot about that East Robertson game. Whether it's East Robertson or East Nashville, whoever wins that region, you will not go quietly without hearing from the runner-up. Because East Nashville, after being a 3A power, 3 straight runner-ups, losing to Alcoa, which basically means you were kind of almost the state champs. It wasn't necessarily a fair fight. But they were the second best team in 3A football 3 years in a row. And now moving down to 2A. If, as Casey said earlier, if they kind of tweak some things, and my initial thought, Casey, is I'm chalking up a lot of what we saw tonight. Hey, it's a non-region game. We are playing against a bitter rival. We know everybody on the other sideline. Like you said, we live in the same neighborhood. We live 2 houses down from a kid that goes to East, and I go to Stratford. I mean, all that kind of pent-up emotion, I think, had a lot to do with what we saw in terms of the mistakes for both teams tonight. I think some of that gets smoothed out for both of our teams next week.
Well, and Stratford's going to have to do that because they've got a lot of other issues that they really need to work on. East Nashville, they also have a few issues that, I mean, obviously they need to fix. But East Nashville's a lot closer to being the type of team that I think that maybe could give East Robertson a battle in that last week of the season. Now, one thing from my perspective that makes it kind of tough, I got East Nashville, East Hickman, and East Robertson all in the same region. And I'm going to mess up one of those names at some point. That's why I'm glad you're the editor. Hopefully you can help me not do that. But it's hard to keep up with all the East that we have. Trying to get the playoff here. And another problem.
That reminds me, or that makes me think real quick here.
Well, they're going to make this 4th and 7. I think it's still a punt no matter what. But
you know, for those that are into, you know, this made me chuckle at least. Maybe it'll make somebody else chuckle. You did point that out as we're going to line up for the punt again here. 42-16. After leading 9-0, Stratford hasn't been able to maintain that momentum, and East has come roaring back again. 42-16 your score, with Stratford really waving the white flag here with the punt. But you mentioned all those schools. East Robertson, East Nashville,
excellent,
East Hickman. What if I told you that they're in Region 6 AA, which means if we were breaking down the state tournament bracket, would they be on the east or the west, would you say?
You're going to start asking me questions that give me a headache.
3 schools in one region with the name East. And I know, obviously, that's referring to the part of the county or city that they're in. But it does strike me as funny. You got 3 schools East, but they're in a region that technically plays West. I don't know. I'm grasping at straws here as we come down the stretch with 4:09 to play in the fourth.
When I got 4 or 5 stories to write when I get home tonight, so you're going to give me a headache with all this. I'm already having to think about stuff, and it's hard enough to keep up with everybody already. Oh, we got East Nashville with a different quarterback now.
And a couple of new players out there for both teams. Stratford kind of coming up at the end of that play, Josh Gardner Jr., and also we got Jonquavius Johns Collins, who he's down at the end. PA announcer also shouts out Ladarius Williams on part of the tackle there. An injury situation. 3:59 to play. As we mentioned, East Nashville at Hickman County next week. And I feel bad in a sense for Hickman County because last week, Casey, Hickman County won their opener at Harpeth, had dropped a couple of games in a row, looked like the season might be going off the tracks, and then poof, they bounced back with a nice win. What is their reward? Their first region game was at East Robertson, who blanked them 43-0. You know, I know a lot of Bulldog fans were upset and kind of sad about that one, but there will be a lot of teams. East Robertson, we talked about the schedule that East Nashville has kind of played. East Robertson has played Liberty Creek, Pope John Paul II. They played Portland, played at Kirkwood last week and defeated them. I continue to be more and more impressed. And Casey, I don't know about your thoughts on the matters. We're still kind of nursing this injury time out here. I don't know about you, but it does feel like more coaches are buying into the let's challenge ourselves methodology. Feels like we don't see teams just littering their schedule with cream puffs in non-region play as much as we kind of used to.
Because the cream puffs ain't going to help you do anything. You're not going to learn anything about
I know,
the
but
team.
that didn't stop some schools from doing it.
Yeah, no, I get it, and everybody's different. So, I mean, if you've got a coach that thinks a certain way and he thinks his team needs to build confidence, that maybe playing a cream puff is a better idea. I think if you're a coach that has a good team and you want to see what they're really made of, you want to test them. And so the best way to do that is to go out there and play some other really good football teams, and that's what they've been trying to do.
We got a low snap. And that's not good because East Nashville, they do pick it up. Backup QB is Cameron Counts. He's a sophomore, 5'10".
Yeah, he's come in for Covington, and they've also got Jaden McMillan, who saw a little bit of field time earlier. Jaden McMillan's in there in the backfield as well.
Able to pick up a couple of yards there. Make a little chicken salad. As we play the final 3.5 minutes here. Eagles are going to win this one on a night where the first quarter and maybe 5 minutes of the second quarter were just absolute anarchy between the two teams. Again, Stratford led 9-0 thanks to a safety and then an immediate kickoff return on the free kick. And then we saw East Nashville with a punt return for a touchdown. Then they added a safety to take a 10-9 lead. They added 2 touchdowns to lead at 24-9 at the break, and now we sit here 42-16. On a Friday night on the east side of our capital city. That pass is picked off right over the middle. Jumping right in front of it, Stratford linebacker. And we just mentioned Counts in at quarterback. And a good effort for, as fate would have it, a Stratford player who's not listed on our roster.
I was thinking that was number 33, but I might be wrong there. That ain't no telling.
Well, I was trying to eyeball 22, who really came off the field. It was chest bumping the coaches. There's no 22 on a roster, and I gave away my trade secret earlier, Casey, and unfortunately I think our PA announcers ran into the same issue.
Well, see, and I'm hard of hearing, so that's not really fair from my perspective because I ain't gonna be able to hear it.
Here's a give. Got a new quarterback in for Stratford, Patterson Thacker, who's better than your average backup QB. We've seen some talented backups in a few of our ball games this year. Thacker's certainly one of them.
He had a few plays against Beach that I thought, I mean, the young man made a few really nice plays, especially when the Spartans really needed him and were still in that game.
Stratford's going to see its 2-game win streak comes to a close. But, man, as we got a issue with the snap yet again. We've seen some low snaps. We've seen some high snaps. That one was off to the side. Thacker didn't – good job by Thacker, who didn't really grab it, but he kind of just dribbled it down to himself, stuck his hand out, and deflected it. Live to fight another day as they recover. Sets up 3rd and 16. But, Casey, talk about jumping right in. A massive chance for Stratford. As bad as this is tonight and as frustrated as you might be losing to a rival, it's a non-region game, but you go on the road at White House Heritage next Friday and you secure a win. Boom, you're not only right back in it, you are 1-0 in region play.
Yeah, and that's the thing. As much as all this, you can, especially Coach Law, he's going to find the things that he didn't like, and there's going to be plenty of things that he won't like. But at the end of the day, it's still not a region game. At the end of the day, the region games are the ones that matter to get in the playoff.
Here's a give up the middle. Nothing doing.
Been a lot of that tonight against the East Nashville front six has been very, very dominant and very impressive as well. Everybody, it seems like the linebackers are making some plays here and there. The defensive line has been very dominant. But even the defensive backs, they're coming up and making some plays here and there as well. So give the Eagles a lot of credit. Doing a lot of things right tonight. On the defensive side, anyway.
Casey, I've been digging during this last little stretch here. I was curious, how many other teams in the state of Tennessee have yet to play a region game? And after tonight, Stratford might be the last one because you got schools like Lincoln County and Franklin County who have yet to enter region play, but I believe they're going to be in region action tomorrow night. So when we refresh the TSSAA football standings next week, you could be talking about it's kind of odd when you look at all the other standings and you see 0-0, but that will be the case. One of those other schools is Hillsboro. We're on the east side of town. Over on the west side of of Nashville here. Hillsboro will play Nolensville tomorrow night. There are some big games, and man, these last couple weeks, most of the schools have a bye kind of in their back pocket too, or an open date kind of remaining. So who knows how the final few weeks of the regular season play out, Casey. Looking forward to a fun stretch, including, and I am upset at myself for not bringing this up earlier, but folks, Casey Patrick was on hand last Friday night for a dandy of a high school football game. I was envious when I saw that was the matchup you drew. As here's a punt by Stratford. And if I've said it once, I'm going to say it at least one more time. Epic open field tackle on the return there. Too little too late, though, but good effort there for Santana Frost on that far sideline. But not only did he see a great game, 31-30, he saw something that has not happened. Maybe it's happened in high school across the nation, but the most infamous example, you got to go back to the 1954, I believe it is, Cotton Bowl. A player jumps off the sideline while a live play is going on and tackles a player. Folks might have seen the clip by now, but a Sycamore linebacker leaps off the sideline. Pretty good tackle. One of the team's best tacklers makes the stop. He is booted from the game. He's going to miss this week's game, which is going to be a key one over at Camden. But, Casey, you saw all that. That was only in the second quarter. And then the game ends up 31-30, an electric game as Sycamore defeats Fairview to remain unbeaten in their region.
Yeah, if you see something crazy like that happen, you would think it'd be in the fourth quarter of a really tight game, and it was a tight game because it was still 0-0. But that's what I told Bill Clark, the photographer that was there with me. I told him, I said, of course it was a bonehead move, but you really didn't have to do that because you got plenty of time to go back out there. And sure enough, Sycamore went back out on the field. They gave Fairview the touchdown, and Sycamore went back out there, and they went right down the field and scored and then took the lead with a 2-point conversion. So the War Eagles, it didn't stop them. They were still able to get a 31-30 win on homecoming. It was a lot of fun to watch, and of course I was able to walk by the sideline, and Coach John Harrison looked over at the young man, and he said, "What'd you do?" He had his hands up. He said, "What'd you do?" Because of course, Harrison hadn't seen it at this point. And the young man looked at him and said, "I stopped him from scoring a touchdown." He clear as day, just straight out of his mouth. That's what he said, and that's what he thought. And like you said, the young man, he made a great tackle. He did stop him from scoring a touchdown on that particular play, but the refs ended up giving him the touchdown anyway, which they should have. That's how that works. But really a wild sequence of events last week and tonight.
Yeah, I meant to bring that up earlier, but I wanted to sneak it in because it was befitting of what we saw in this game tonight, because as East Nashville took the final snap there, and they will wind the clock out, the teams will line up to shake hands. That is a final 42-16, but I wanted to mention that story, Casey, because it was a wild and crazy one. Tonight's game was wild and crazy. Again, the first quarter and a half of this game, I don't know that I've seen a more chaotic opening 15, 16 minutes, because we saw 3 different special teams returns for touchdowns. We saw 2 safeties. Both offenses were moving the ball. We saw East Nashville score a touchdown, but had it called back due to penalty. I mean, it had everything. It looked like it was going to be just a wild, crazy game, but eventually East Nashville finds its rhythm. They kind of right the ship in a sense, and they end up pulling away big in the second half. They defeat Stratford tonight 42-16.
Yeah, and I said earlier that the only 2 things we were missing was a 1-point safety and a touchdown, an offensive touchdown, and we ended up getting the offensive touchdown not too long after. But I'm still waiting for that 1-point safety. I haven't seen one in person, but it did. It had everything else. And as a fan of football, I think I would have rather seen a game that had a little bit more execution, not so many flags. But I know both of the head coaches are going to say that to their team. They're about to meet out here on the field anyway, so I'm sure that's what a lot of the conversation is going to be between the coaches and the players, is just locking in and executing. They've got talent. I think these 2 coaches know what they're doing. I think these coaching staffs are good. These teams have a lot of talent on them. You just gotta take the self-inflicted wounds away.
Yeah, that was the most undoubtedly frustrating thing. If you're East Nashville, you're thinking, okay, yeah, we got a nice win, but man, it could have been a lot easier and it could have been a lot bigger if we had taken care of business. If you're Stratford, meanwhile, you're saying, man, we had East Nashville on the ropes, and if we had maybe not shot ourselves in the foot a couple of times, who knows? Leading 9-0, maybe we extend that lead. As Casey kind of pointed out, there was a point in the game when they go up 9-0. There was a penalty after the touchdown, so Stratford was kicking off deep. Casey pinpointed at the end. He said, man, maybe you go for the onside kick right here and really try and put the pressure, extra pressure, on East Nashville. Coach Law kind of elects to play it conservatively. Can't fault him for that because his defense had obviously been pitching a shutout. But looking back, maybe that was a turning point in the game because East Nashville came roaring back, scored 24 unanswered points. Again, they led it 24-9 at halftime, and the game was essentially out of reach the entirety of the second half.
Yeah, well, and both teams had a kickoff from the opposite 45, and I expected to see one of them be an onside kick, but neither one was. And I understand why East Nashville didn't. You know, they had a little bit of a lead there, and just trying to get trying to run the clock out. But Stratford, I feel like there were quite a few different instances actually tonight where they didn't show the right or the correct type of urgency that I would have liked to have seen. I didn't care for the play calling because I'm pretty sure it was just a handoff right up the middle to Santana Frost on every single first down, or at least the first play of every drive. And I don't think they gained yardage on any of those plays. And so I was really interested to see after the halftime what kind of adjustments the Spartans were going to make. Maybe get a tight end in there and block a little bit or something. And they didn't make too many adjustments. They didn't really change too much of the play calls. When it was 30-16, and I thought they should have went for it on fourth down, the urgency wasn't there. They didn't go for it on fourth down. Again, that was deep in their own territory, and that's fine. But I just feel like when you go back and look at this, I think when Coach Law goes back and looks at this, there are going to be a few things that he sees that he could have done a little bit different. So I wouldn't hang my head too much if I was Stratford, but there are quite a few things that you really need to fix going forward.
Good game tonight, entertaining game. They all have been, and we certainly appreciate you guys tuning in each and every single week. That's going to put a wrap on our Main Street Preps Game of the Week coverage. Again, a special thank you to all of our friends and folks here at Stratford and East Nashville for taking care of us in our pregame and build up into tonight's contest. And again, next week, it'll be Shelbyville at Clarksville. We continue with another Thursday night Main Street Preps Game of the Week. For Casey Patrick and for our producer Mark Rogers, I'm Wade Neely saying so long. We'll see you next time as East Nashville defeats Stratford over here in the east side of Davidson County. Good night.